Chapman.
Hello.
Chapman. Chapman.
Can you hear me?
Chapman. Chapman. Hey, Chapman. Red Dirt Farm.
Big Jeffrey Epstein cover-up case news coming out. Some of the top individuals.
We did a show yesterday. Where was you at?
Individuals that have been involved know that more of the information's about to come out, that Pam Bondi got that treasure trove 2 weeks ago, which had to fire those head of the FBI in New York and others to get it. The word is it's about to come out very, very soon, so suddenly they're outing themselves and trying to whitewash it. Limited hangout. We're about to break it down right now. Well, Jess Stanley, a big J.P. Morgan top Barclays banker who we know is on the Epstein flight logs, is getting out ahead of it. He says, yeah, he shared sex with one of his young assistants, one of Jeffrey Epstein's assistants, but that's why he was out at the island, but it was all girls above 18. Well, I've been explaining this for over 16, 17 years, covering the Epstein situation. A lot of the girl assistants on record were purchased in Eastern Europe. They were 8 or 9 from their parents and flown back and then used as sex slaves. Then they would graduate up to nannies and to corral and herd the younger girls and children. There were also medical experiments going on in the Caribbean and also in New Mexico and Zorro Ranch, other places. Not just with Peter Nygaard, of course, with his Caribbean islands, where they were getting women pregnant and then legally killing the baby before 9 months so they could drain all of its juices out and inject it into themselves. You think I'm joking? Just search Peter Nygaard vampire. All the same stuff. So this is all limited hangout. I don't know if Jess Stanley just had sex with an 18-year-old or whatever. Okay? He might have just done that, but the point is they might have just picked somebody who didn't engage in the pedophilia, but had sex with these young women as a gift to get Jeffrey Epstein back into the big bank's graces, which he was hired to do, which he admits he was. So he's getting sex, basically, it looks like prostitution, to be able to do this, and we know that the younger women, but still weren't girls, almost all of them were former victims, but the best victims that took to it like ducks to water. If you know, a lot of sexual abuse victims, Stockholm Syndrome out, and about half of the studies end up becoming pedophiles themselves, like Ghislaine Maxwell, whose father reportedly, we know he ran pedophile rings for Israel, MI6, and worked with the CIA, and word is he named his boat after her, and that she was quite a sex operative. We know that she was the sex operative team member with Epstein, and they kind of took over the family business. So here's this guy. They are literally trying to get out ahead of all of this right now. The Gateway Pundit's got some good articles on it. So does InfoWars. There's even stuff in the New York Post. Ex-Barclays exec Jess Stanley, Jeffrey Epstein emails revealed, say hi to Snow White. And there's also a lot of Disney code words that we know that pedophiles use there as well. I mean, this is sick. So they always, when they get caught, just like when he first got caught in Florida, recruiting hundreds of girls at trailer parks, 14, 15 years old, he talked in his diaries and documents about how exhausted, or notes how exhausted he was, because he was having to get so many of them for this giant industrial operation. So Jeffrey Epstein, former confidant, ex-JP Morgan banker, claims Jeffrey Epstein knew more about upper levels of bank than he did. Yeah, because that's what they were working on. Jess Stanley accused of aggressively raping Jeffrey Epstein's victims with his permission. But he's saying, no. It was all just a quid pro quo and they weren't under 18. Former Barclays CEO Jess Stanley admits he had sex with Jeffrey Epstein assistant. So this is all coming out. It's a lot of Democrats, a lot of globalists, Bill Gates heavily involved, obviously, but he was not being blackmailed by Epstein. It's clear that he was hiring Epstein to blackmail scientists for him, and indeed did do that. And then you got this breaker. Broke yesterday, the war's broken now. Remember this guy helped cover up the main incident, individual investigation over the Islamic terror attack that got covered up in the Vegas, biggest massacre with guns ever. But you never hear about it because they can't blame it on an American citizen. Well, then he became the Maui police chief that locked it down and wouldn't let him flee and helped cover it up.
Same cop. He was the one that was out there with the Moon Man. He was out there at the damn that Vegas shooting too.
Keeps people out today so they can force them off their property, like we're already seeing in California. The governor Newsom declared an emergency for a 15-minute city. Lahaina was declared that in Maui a year before. They wouldn't sell, so they burned him out. Well, he's involved with P. Diddy and reportedly named in these lawsuit now, helping basically run the parties. So notice it is a big, sick club. Of course, he's alleged, and it's civil, but they're now calling for him to resign as the Maui police chief there. So it's a sick club, and that's why it's come out that P. Diddy had a bunch of Epstein connections as well. That P. Diddy and Epstein are just the high-level managers. There's the big boys up above it. And of course, where did Epstein come from? His first job, really, in America as a professional, with no degree, being a top teacher and counselor at a special girls' school that former Attorney General and CIA operative Barr, his dad ran. And his dad also wrote a book about a prison planet of sex slave children raped by elites. Can't make that up either. So, this is how they control people. This is the gateway into their cult. It's their initiation, is sex with underage girls. And then it goes further from that. From our intel and what's come out over and over again, it includes ritually murdering children and then selling their organs. I had a member of the UK Parliament on us a month ago who's documented this and the fact that they are flying children out of Ukraine into the UK and that they are then being raped, used up, and then killed in a snuff film, and they recycle the organs. All right, that is your Jeffrey Epstein update today. This has been breaking and hasn't gotten a lot of attention. But hopefully now people will look into this. This is only the tip of the iceberg. Thank you so much for watching. The good news is Team Humanity has awakened, and the globalists are being exposed, and their empire of lies and pure evil is coming down. Please follow me on X at Real Alex Jones. And if that ever goes down, if these hack attacks, we got attacked this week with the DDoS attack as well, you can go to Infowars.com/show for our feeds or Band.video. But if we go down, which happens under attack, we go back to X. It's a Rumble. We're also on Rumble. More diversity, more channels, more freedom, so we can't be easily shut down. But X is the big mighty one, and we love it. We're very, very appreciative for all the great work that's happening there with all of you out there. So thank you so much to the viewers, the listeners. We are a family of humans looking for freedom and justice for not just ourselves, for our children and our future. Thank you so much.
Chaos. Did y'all check out the title for
Big
today's
Jeffrey
show? Timmer's live. Timmer's live. Gonna make me cry. Gonna make me cry. When mommy cries, the baby cries. Look at that tear. See that tear? You just technology.
Rich on the unless you hate to be poor. Because poor people will say, man, I really want to be rich. And then for 3 days they'll try. But the majority of the time, they're actually happy.
Shutter up at the shop doesn't work. Shutter up at the shop. Gibson said he's got bad gas today. He's been eating probably some chicken gizzards.
They're happy playing a video game, eating some ramen, and sitting around with their friends. So they only feel temporarily motivated to escape the trap. But most of the time, they're happy to be exactly where they are, which is why they'll stay exactly where they are. They don't hate being broke. When I was broke, I couldn't fucking sleep. I couldn't sleep. I had permanent insomnia when I was poor. I was like, there must be a way. So unless you hate being poor, you're not going to love being rich enough to ever get there. You can't be rich unless you hate to be poor. Because poor people will say, man, I really want to be rich. And then for 3 days they'll try. But the majority of the time, they're actually happy being broke. They're happy playing a video game, eating some ramen, and sitting around with their friends. So they only feel temporarily motivated to escape the trap. But most of the time, they're happy to be exactly where they are, which is why
Kimmer's live.
District court judge filing an injunction to you cannot have a low-level district court judge filing an injunction to usurp the executive authority of the President of the United States. That is completely absurd. And as the executive of the executive branch, the President has the ability to fire or hire. And you have these lower-level judges who are trying to block this President's agenda. It's very clear. And as I just cited, I was appalled by the statistic when I saw it this morning. In 1 month, in February, there have been 15 injunctions of this administration in our agenda. In 3 years under the Biden administration, there were 14 injunctions. So it's very clear that there are judicial activists throughout our judicial branch who are trying to block this president's executive authority. We are going to fight back. And as anyone who saw President Trump and his legal team fighting back, they know how to do it. He was indicted nearly 200 times, and he's in the Oval Office now because all of the indictments, all of these injunctions have always been unconstitutional. And
Kimmer's a guy down here on the radio. Some of the posse likes to go over and listen to him.
Unfair.
He's got, most of his show is commercial. I was talking to Trina because we bought that clutch from Kelly's Clutch down there in Trina. She said, I didn't go down there, Buck did. She was asking Buck, did Jamie know Kimmer was back on? And I got on the phone with her when Buck was down there yesterday. And I said, yeah, I know he's back on. He banned me.
Led by partisan activists.
Pete did, but he didn't stop it. So he's just as guilty.
Who are trying
Check out the title for today's show.
To usurp the will of this president, and we're not going to stand for it. Thanks, guys.
Who's got to poop real bad?
Understood when people tried to act like they have money. Sometimes they don't, sometimes they do. But even then, it's like, who cares? Literally nobody cares. Nobody cares. I envy my husband so much, and I used to make fun of him for wearing the same clothes. Like, I think he wears the same t-shirt that he's worn since high school, definitely since I've known him. So, like, 13 years plus. And I used to always be like, oh my gosh, like, can you get some new shirts? And he's like, I don't care. I actually would prefer people to think that I am poor. And I mean, because he's got like a hole in his sleeve right here. And he still wears it. And he's like, I literally give zero shits. And I'm like, I love that about him though. He's so down to earth, you know, he just doesn't care. And I feel like more of us should not care about what others think about us. Who cares? Let people think you're poor. Like, I never understood when people tried to act like they have money. Sometimes they don't, sometimes they do. But even then, it's like, who cares? Literally nobody cares. Nobody cares. I envy my husband so much, and I used to make fun of him for wearing the same clothes. Like, I think
I've been busy. Must Booth claim that Hitler wasn't to blame for the Holocaust? He wasn't to blame for the Holocaust. They got what was coming to them. Let's see. They broke in during the fire. DJT today. We broke in during the California fires.
And we'll have to take care of something to do with Los Angeles. A place called Los Angeles almost burned to the ground. By the way, I broke into Los Angeles. Can you believe it? I had a break-in. I invaded Los Angeles and we opened up the water, and the water is now flowing down. They have so much water they don't know what to do. They were sending it out to
Frozen
the Pacific
Gatorade
for environmental reasons. Okay, can you believe it? And in the meantime, they lost 25,000 houses. They lost...
25,000 houses. That's why you don't catch black people swimming in the lake. That's a type of bar, ain't it? Yeah. That thing's got teeth about that long. Big as Michelle Obama's penis. The hell, that thing just come up and attacked her.
A zero income tax state. We're going to get rid of the income tax because at the end of the day, it is your money, not the government's, and you deserve to keep what you earn.
That's
President
right.
Trump is being ambitious at the federal level. We need leaders at the state level who are going to be equally ambitious as governors. And I say this from a state, the state of Ohio, that sent the first man to walk on the moon, Sean. This won't be the greatest feat that Ohio has
Liar.
ever achieved. There have been greater
How
feats
come you don't like
accomplished
him? 'Cause
in
he's
human
brown?
history. It's relatively straightforward, but what we actually need is a governor with the
Ohio State
spine to
football's
see that
accomplished
through.
a lot.
Vivek Ramaswamy. What the hell kind of name is
You know,
that?
the Cincinnati
right,
Reds
exactly,
back in
the
the day, they
championship
accomplished
year.
a lot too.
I want to see if that some bitch right there's names on that Epstein list. I bet it is.
That's right, right? If we want to be a championship team, let's play like one. And the reason I'm saying this now, Sean, to be super frank
Bad
about this,
weather
is
hitting.
I want families across the country to know,
We both
to
had
put
some bad
you on
weather.
notice, you are able to come to Ohio, even if it takes you a couple of years to
got
get
cloudy
here.
out here
We're going to be
yesterday.
a zero income tax state. So I want businesses coming
Let me see
back
my-
here. I want people
Let me
moving
pull up
back
my thing.
into the
What
state.
is it, 73
I
out
don't
there
take
right
anything
now?
for granted, but it appears highly likely that I'm going to be
50%
the
chance of
governor
rain
before
tomorrow,
very long.
75%
And when I'm
chance
governor,
Sunday.
we're going to bring down that income tax. So I want everybody across the country to know we're going to be one of those zero income tax states. So as much as our friends here, many of them for good reasons, spend 6 months in a day in Florida or Tennessee or other states, I want to repatriate some of those people back to our own home state of Ohio. And that's what we're going to
Take out love in me. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I'm gonna get to sleep in tomorrow.
Caleb, when you fell off that bike, what your mama say? And how you fall? And what your mama say?
Uh-oh.
It is ma'am. Excuse me, it's ma'am. It is ma'am.
That girl's penis is getting hard.
You need to settle down and mind your business. Excuse me, it's ma'am. It is ma'am.
I can call the police if you'd like me to. You need
Hey, that bitch looks mean. 19-year-old out to buy socks for her husband. Father finds 135,000 their ATM. What would you have done? Took that shit home?
KRQE, he called the number on the ATM, then police, because he knew trying to keep the money meant he would have to deal with mom.
Back in my head, I was just thinking about my parents, especially my mom. What would she would do if I came home with the money, and what she would do with her chancla to hit me.
It turns out the Wells Fargo subcontractor whose job it is to fill the ATM left the cash there by accident. The mayor and police chief recognized Nunez for doing the right thing when no one was looking and invited him to apply as a public safety officer while still in school. Nunez also got a $500 check from New Mexico energy provider PNM, a gift card, and $500 cash.
$500? That's a bunch of bullshit. $135,000, you turn it in, they're going to give you, here's $500.
Because of America's establishment and folks who don't know better. You mentioned CNBC earlier. Watching them is so cringeworthy every single day. I toggle over and they just, I mean, the data comes out.
Move in!
Brace yourself for a very inflationary PPI number. 2, 3, 1. Oh my God, it's not inflationary. Someone
Says
go
50%
sit
chance
through
tomorrow,
page
Frank.
33, find something in there before we get back from commercial break. Every day, every single day. But here's the problem. We got a report today on the sentiment of individual investors. And it's almost 60% bearish. It's the least bullish it's been in a long time. I worry about people who watch this show and sell. They watch these programs and People have never built a thing in their life, and they're on the op-ed pages, they're on editorial boards, and they get to tell us that
you would have turned that money in, Moon Man. I said, hold on a minute. Somebody just left that sitting out there. I found it. I didn't steal it.
Aren't working. They won't work. They've never worked. Read your history. Understand what...
The Amish.
Batcave, North Carolina resident whose home was hit by a landslide during Hurricane Helene and denied by insurance. Did they release that damn money from that dam up the river? See the unexpected visit. Over 30 Amish carpenters from Pennsylvania arrived this week and rebuilt his home in one day. Them Amish boys don't play.
Called, they asked if there was any carpentry work they could do. They were out here.
Them boys don't play. Hard work. They put a barn up in a day. And I'm talking about a big barn.
The next couple of days and did everything. Finished it in one day, was fantastic.
It's part of an initiative through the Just For Him Ministries based in Kentucky, inviting up to 30 of these young volunteers at a time to help repair homes.
Now that a lot of the heavy equipment's being passed over to the road crews, we've been needing a lot of construction work done to houses for repairs, total rebuilds, things like that. And these Amish people, they're a blessing to this whole.
They got a messed up haircut, but them boys can work.
Isaac Guffey has been helping families and working with the group for months and says their work is crucial to helping Batcave get back on their feet.
They're just getting it done that fast. When they do a full roof for somebody, I mean, it's done in just a couple of hours. So, I mean, they're great and amazing at what they do.
Both Kim and Isaac say their real hope is that this will encourage others to help too.
The story's kind of weakened, you know, and feel like that's hindered a little bit of the help coming in because it has slowed down a lot.
We just need to pitch in and help each other. Don't forget your neighbors. Don't forget the people that are out here that are suffering.
One to 10, how do you rate Trump's presidency?
Listen, I was biased the first time, but to be honest with you, nobody gave a shit about us when Biden was there. Nobody respected us. At the end of the day, if you're gonna run a country, you're gonna be who you are. You gotta put your dick on the table and say this is not gonna happen. And I feel like that's what he's gonna do. At least these next 4 years.
I mean, have you noticed that he's been doing that so far? Like with Zelensky, did you see that clip?
From the moment he got there, a lot of people are gonna still have their. I think Trump would have won if he would have shut the fuck up instead of talking so much bull. I think he would have won the election, but he didn't. And look, he still won after. So.
And it's kind of better that he won, too. He had 4 years to plan now, and now the Democrats are out of commission.
You see, he's doing a different style, you know, like he's letting his people talk for him, and he's doing what he has to do, you know, and that's where it's got to be. I mean, at the end of the day, we're America. You're supposed to fear us, and nobody gave a shit about us. Nobody was scared of us, you know, like you had submarines in Cuba, Russian subs in Cuba. When the f did you see that? Last time I saw was Elian Gonzalez coming over here. Now you got Russian subs over there. That's not gonna happen with Trump.
So you'd say with Biden, America was weak?
100%.
So would you say that America's back?
Not yet. He got a tall task these next 4 years.
He's back. Look at that girl's penis right there. That's Macron's wife. Or daddy. We don't know. They say she's a man. She looks like a man.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
She looks like what was that, Ricky Schroeder? You know, the rich kid, Ricky Schroeder.
He swings like a horn player over jazz. Humpty Hump and Slick Rick rhyme from the nasal palate. Nas rhymes from the back of his throat. Biggie is a swinger. He swings like a horn player over jazz. B-I-G-P-O, P-P-A, no info for the D-E-A. He put more emphasis on the He's just spelling his name. But the flow, vicious. Pac, on the other hand, I think Tupac pulled from Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. I don't know when it is that we're gonna make it to the mountaintop, but one day all the children will be able to play together. All the children, it's like pouring those words out because you mean it. Humpty Hump and Slick.
Started out workshop. Yeah, that's some CGI bullshit or something. Still got some guns on. Oh, I ain't taking my car up in there. Them bitches don't know how to work on no cars.
While I never really liked the term fake news, now that I am on the inside, and I can see what they're reporting. I think the term fake news probably isn't strong enough. It's really not. That they start with an a priori, they've written the story, and then they just kind of shape shift facts to back into it, because many of the stories that I've been involved with are just so far off. There was a story in the New York Times the other day that talked about 50% headcount decreases at the IRS. Nobody's talking about that. These were on background, these were not named sources, and they're just trying to stir tumult during taxpayer filing season. I mean, it's crazy. When I was on the other side of the wall, I never really liked the term fake news. Now that
DeSantis. Today, when I got up in St. Petersburg, it was clear blue sky, and I started watching all the planes spraying. Now, I know the FAA knows who's flying. I'm pretty sure the governor can figure out who's flying and spraying and creating these fake clouds in the sky. Look. I even got footage of that plane spraying. So, Governor of Florida and Florida officials, what are we doing about this? And why don't you start explaining exactly what it is?
They're trying to kill us.
Blue sky, look at all the lines from the planes. I watched them all, and some of them stop spraying after a while and they restart. Can we have an explanation and a stopping of this, please?
Yeah, please stop spraying us with that bullshit. Probably commemorate their service. Even though you weren't alive yet. They did. And you see what's going on now with all the bullshit we got over here in America?
Jahre nach einem grausamen Krieg tragen sie ihre
You don't want me to tell you. Got all them Pakistanis out there, them Muslim inbred bastards.
Shortage of glitter, and no one really knows why. Yeah, it sounds ridiculous until you hear the
Moonman, look at that guy's guitar. It's got a big hole right there in it. That ain't right. Got it held together with some kind of band there.
Living on the road, my
I can't afford a better guitar than that broke up son bitch right there.
was gonna keep you free and clean. Now you wear your skin like iron, and your breath as hard as kerosene.
Breath hard as kerosene.
Your mama's only boy, but her favorite one is Steve. So she began to cry when you said goodbye. Sank into your dream. Pancho was a bandit boy.
Pancho.
His horse was fast as polished steel. He wore his gun outside his pants for all the honest world to feel. Pancho met his match, you know, in the deserts down in Mexico. Nobody heard his dying word.
Dying word.
Oh, but that's the way it goes. Say, could have had him on any day. Only let him slip away. Out of kindness, I suppose.
Pancho Lick. There's a number. I will make the greatest phone in history. Everyone who likes this and says yes will get the first edition for free. Oh, that's, yeah, okay.
Are living in, but the American people beg to differ, and that's why they reelected President Trump on November 5th to fix the economic nightmare that was created by the
egg prices is down, gas is down, inflation's down. Supposed to have some kind of ceasefire over there in Ukraine.
Biden-Harris administration, and President Trump in just 54 days is well on his way to doing that. Inflation is cooling, gas prices are coming down, the cost of eggs is $2 cheaper than they were under Joe Biden just a month and a half ago. You also see airline fares have come down. Look at the mass.
We went in to give a pep talk to all them chickens that was in there. Said y'all girls has got to produce just a little bit extra right now until we can raise some more up to help y'all out because Biden killed all of them.
Deregulatory effort of the Trump administration. We have already saved the American people $180 billion. Just this week alone, the EPA slashed 31 burdensome regulations that were on the books from the previous administration. These are silent taxes on the American people that this administration is slashing every single day. As President Trump said this morning, the Trump economic boom is incoming, and this administration is working hard every day to create growth, to slash regulation, and to sign tax cuts into law, which we need Congress to do. The president is determined to get it done.
So deep inside of this federal government, even if we have the most committed Trump administration we've ever had in this country, I'm still not sure they will be capable of cleaning it out in 4 years. But just know the cuts must be very, very deep, and they must do things that are going to shock you. These people have to go to prison. If they are not sent to prison, retirement's not near enough. If they are not sent to prison, then we're just going to get another Democrat in there at some point in time who's going to do all the same things, if not worse. And the communists inside of the government will do it without fear. If government people do not go to prison, we cannot save the United States of America. I don't care how secure the border is, how good inflation gets, how low taxes are. We cannot save the United States of America without government people going to prison. Once your government has become an evil criminal organization the way ours are, well, the only way out of that is sending criminals to prison. You can't break up the American mafia without sending mobsters to prison, and you can't save the United States of America without sending FBI agents to prison.
Send them all of them. Like I said, executions.
You guys picked up.
Myron kicked out 3 chicks and fired employees for offering girls money to come on the show. You're fired. Don't even contact us again. You're done.
Us up off the street and bribed us with money to come here.
That's crazy.
Who did that?
I don't know. Not saying.
What?
That's crazy.
Who did that? We don't pay girls to come on the show. No.
Hey, what's Jody and them doing?
But I'm sweeping the shop.
What's Jody and them doing?
Working. They're over there with Angel.
Yeah.
Someone did, huh? Who did it?
Messy alert.
Who did that?
But somebody did, though.
Wait, who? Tell us, who did it?
I don't know. Someone did.
He got here. Don't drop no name.
We can drag it for sure, so just tell us. We got time.
Drag her.
Just like describe what she looks like.
Yeah, please.
I mean, she just had curly hair.
Yeah.
She had a boyfriend with her. Mm-hmm. I don't really know. Genuinely, I don't know anything.
Is it black?
Yeah.
I know it is.
Call them right now.
Call them right fucking now. Call them right fucking now. Did you tell these Asian girls that you're gonna pay them? Don't lie, bro. Don't fucking lie. Don't lie. Did you tell them that you were gonna pay them?
What are you doing?
Putting shit power gas.
So they're lying?
Jody. You need to get busy.
I am busy.
Someone's lying. Did you tell these girls that you were gonna pay them?
Make sure you got shoes on. Jody, you had damn flip-flops on this
Don't
morning.
fucking lie. We know the truth. Did you tell these Chinese girls that you're gonna fucking pay them to come on the show?
Buck said what?
They don't pay for.
Oh, he ain't getting paid. Look, the guy's supposed to come pick them 3 trailers up. You got to do the DOTs on them.
I got the DOTs on them. I got to do one more DOT.
You got to do the stickers.
I ain't got no permanent marker done.
You don't need a permanent marker.
Well, write on them then. Write the bin number, blah, blah, blah.
Blah, 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 blah. That's what you're supposed to do.
I can't do it, John. Look,
You
I'm
can.
working on something else.
You're fucking lying. You're fired. You and Justin are fired. Don't ever fucking contact us again. Y'all are fucking done.
Yep.
Fuck out of here. Take this shit, man. Well, there you go.
There you go. Got that
We got
boy
him.
fired.
We don't play that shit.
Another thing bitches to come up in here. Bunch of whores. That girl down there, he's look at her. She ain't got no bra on.
Good shit.
No, facts. And
so if you lied, you got them fired. So thank you. Thank you for telling us that.
Thank you, ladies.
Yo,
the fact that you told me, good.
Appreciate that.
Yo, thank you.
Thank you.
So y'all still staying without the pay?
Then it's a favor.
And you guys are welcome to leave at any time if you guys were expecting to get paid, because y'all not getting paid shit. So if you guys want to get up and go, because you came here for pay, you can get up and leave right now.
Yeah, leave. Pay to play. Goodbye.
But we're not gonna fucking pay y'all shit, and they're fucking done.
Y'all bitches ain't
gonna play that shit. We don't pay bitches to come on this show.
No attention. That's what I'm gonna do.
Ever.
No,
Not
bro.
one time. We don't need to fucking do that shit.
No, hell no, bro.
Now, if you guys don't like it, that's cool. Y'all can get up and leave right now.
Yeah, leave.
Bye.
I'll leave.
All right, go ahead.
I'm
Feel free to
sorry,
walk
guys.
out.
I didn't know I wasn't supposed to say that.
I'm glad you told us.
They're part of your company. You probably got them to do that.
You wanted to roast us.
Yeah.
But you actually helped us.
You actually helped us.
So
thank you for that.
Y'all are panicking.
Stupid. No.
No one's panicking shit. We literally told them right now, get the fuck out of here. If we were panicking, we would literally be...
Bye.
Get the fuck out of here, bro. You just got embarrassed intellectually, and that's why.
Drive safe.
Yeah, y'all look fucking crazy.
We literally described them, and you fired them.
Get that
Yeah,
degree.
we fired them. You don't play that shit.
It's
We
fine,
got
man.
standards over here.
So why would we be lying?
No, that's fine. I'm glad you told us. We got rid of them. Now y'all can walk out too.
Y'all have fun.
Penn State sucks, by the way.
You guys
It's a simple school.
Be safe, okay? Safe, okay? Hey, be safe.
Maybe read up and you can come back to the debate on immigration, but y'all are retarded too.
No more eating dogs.
Don't
No more eating
none
dogs,
of
please.
that for real.
They got fired.
Would literally see this fucking guy start turning into a bar of soap. Nick would fuck him up. And Ben knows that. Because look, if Ben could defeat Nick, he would do it and end Nick's career. He knows he can't defeat Nick. He has no chance. He would get fucking soaped. He would get soaped. Right? He would be lampshaded. Instantly. It would be like the first sentence he'd get fucking knocked out. It'd be a one-round knockout with Nick. So yeah, you'll see Ben shitting on these college students who are retarded about socialism and transgenderism. Yeah, fucking argue Nick. Go debate Nick, Ben. Go Benji. Go debate him. See what happens. He'll turn you into a bar of soap like that. And he knows it. He fucking knows it, and that's why he'll never do it. If Nick debated Ben Shapiro live, you would literally see this fucking guy start turning into...
His ass up. I like Nick Fuentes. So this is essentially what's happening. A federal judge appoints himself president. Yeah. These judges need to be drug off the fucking bench.
Loved The Never-Ending Story. If you grew up to be into spirituality and consciousness, then you're going to want to hear this. I think this movie is actually about the relationship between the sixth and the third dimension. Hear me out. I was on Gaia TV watching Open Minds with Regina Meredith. These beings on the sixth level of consciousness, which we're going to call the sixth dimension for the sake of this video, because they are completely a collective. When opposing forces or negative forces are at play, it actually becomes self-destructive. These beings actually rely on level 3 beings, and for this we're going to call that the third dimension. So the sixth dimension is mirroring and relying on the third dimension, because the beings in the third dimension are still able to make individual choices. And that's literally the plot of The Never-Ending Story. A little boy named Bastian, which originates from the Italian word to build, becomes immersed in the book The Never-Ending Story, which is about a world called Fantasia. But now that I'm thinking of it, many of the beings that were shown in this world are actually representing different levels of consciousness. Like, for example, we talk about the first level of consciousness being an elemental or mineral and rock level. We have other beings that are plant beings or animal beings. And there's gnomes and fairies. When Bastian first starts entering Fantasia through the book, we have 4 beings that come from north, south, east, and west, and they each represent a different element, or level 1 consciousness. And that's when we're introduced to the villain, the Nothing. And the Nothing is a force that is consuming everything. And this is where a young warrior, Atreyu, goes out into Fantasia to save the Empress and all of Fantasia from the Nothing. But actually, from a lot of different sources, when we hear about the sixth dimension, we hear that the sixth dimension is above levels of individual consciousness, so therefore it is nothing and everything that exists all at the same time.
How can it be nothing and everything at the same time? And manifest.
Confirming everything is down to energy and our consciousness, how life is a hologram, and how we can actually use our brain waves to heal our bodies and manifest our reality consciously. I share a meditation technique that helps you do all of this. What blows my mind is that I've been using this technique for the last 7 years and getting results with this. I didn't learn it from this document. I've learned this through Jose Silva. It's called HemiSync. To effectively use HemiSync, you basically listen to a frequency from 4 to 7 hertz. Pretty much silences, like cancels out the left logical part of your brain. And it puts your brain waves into a theta state. When you intentionally listen to this frequency and you meditate with it, while thinking of your new life and what you want to attract, actually thinking about your goals and visualizing them and feeling it as if it is happening right now. The left side of your brain, the logical part of your brain is shut down. So what you're visualizing and what you're focusing on is going directly into your subconscious mind. It's being accepted right away as you're in your theta state level. You can look up on YouTube, HemiSync 4 to 7 hertz, and you can begin trying this on your own, or you can join me in Spirit Ascension. I'll give you the action steps on actually how to do this, audios to listen to morning and night, and an audio mind exercise program that will enhance your intuition and help you heal your body and
have me peeing on myself at nighttime. Go to messing with my left brain and everything. Mars at night, it would be worth the trip just to look up. Over or something? Covered up the cancers caused by the polio vaccines by blaming smoking. Now they're covering up the cancers caused by the COVID vaccines by blaming food. State Farm takes but refused to credit.
Response to the wildfires. Hayden Kirkpatrick was vice president for innovation and venture capital. In the video, he says, quote, this: there never should be houses built in the first place in areas like the Pacific Palisades. He says residents want, quote, natural areas around them for their ego, and that the area is a blank desert, and so it dries out and it's a tinderbox. He made disparaging remarks about California officials. He bragged how they were going to be canceling more policies.
There are a lot of policy mistakes made in California.
Yes. His comments were cold, and they were certainly offensive to the victims, which is not cool. The California Department of Insurance, they're the ones at fault here.
This is all about government regulation. It's going to continue to strangle every single market. What he said was not wrong. The way he said it was incorrect.
A State Farm executive has been fired after he was recorded on an
found in Cheetos and rubbed it
Cheetos turns mouse skin transparent.
Onto mice. Within minutes, the mouse's skin turned transparent, revealing its blood vessels and organs. Researchers watched in real time as the dye was absorbed through the mouse's skin. And while the dye is considered safe for humans, this outcome raised some serious questions about what long-term effects these additives might have on our health. How much do we really know about the ingredients in our favorite snack?
days of old, men would search for wealth untold. They dig for silver and for gold and leave the empty homes. And way down south in the Everglades, where the black water rolls and the sawgrass waves, the eagles fly and the otters play in the land of the Seminole. So blow, blow, Seminole wind, blow like you're never gonna blow again. I'm calling to you like a long lost friend, and I know who you are. And blow, blow from the Okeechobee all the way up to Mickey-Nope, blow across the home of the Seminoles, the alligators and the dogs. Progress came and took its toll, and in the name of flood control, they made their plans and they drained the land. Now the glades are going dry. And the last time I walked in the swamp, I sat up on a cypress stump. I listened close and I heard
They're swinging. Oh, wait, we're swinging.
In the halls of justice, and it really is a unique experience to be able to be a part of the team that is delivering a singular system of justice for the American people, with a complete and total annihilation of the weaponization of justice and the politicization of intelligence.
He's got to take care of his.
We have a new FBI, and I'm humbled and honored to be its leader. We have a courageous Attorney General in General Pam Bondi. We have incredible leaders throughout our law enforcement community, whether it be at the FBI, the DEA, HSI, CBP, ATF, and the list goes on. I've been privileged to meet so many of them in my first month on board here. I look around and I see state attorneys generals that have been doing the work hand in glove with local, state, and federal law enforcement. And our mission, and my mission specifically, is to tell you what we've been doing in this first month. And I told you when I got this job that we would crush violent crime, that we would take the fight to anyone who wishes to do harm to our way of life and to hurt our citizenry, that we would go to the ends of the earth to bring them back to face American justice produced right here in this very hall, in this very building. To that effort, we have done just that. And a special shout out, I know my Boston contingent is here on St. Paddy's Day. Thank you for the great work you guys have been doing, and across the rest of the FBI. But right here in Virginia, or across the river in Virginia, the FBI stood up an interagency task force at our Manassas office, and in just 2.5 short weeks, we have arrested over 300 violent felonies, gang members, including MS-13 and 18 gangsters. We have taken seizure of hundreds of pounds of narcotics and hundreds of weapons and currency and illicit goods. That's just what you can do when you put the brave men and women of law enforcement in one room and get the hell out of their way. And we are going to do that in every state across this country. In Massachusetts alone, in the last couple of weeks, they have indicted federally over 50 violent gang members and narco traffickers, seizing almost 200 kilograms of fentanyl. There is no time for us to waste on this job, and that's why under President Trump's leadership and General Bondi's leadership, we've been instructed to get after it, and that's exactly what we are doing. We have to especially get after it when we lose an American citizen every 7 minutes to a drug overdose. We have to especially get after it when a woman or child is raped in this country nearly every 6 minutes, and we have to especially get after it when there are 2 homicides nearly every hour in this country. Violent crime is exploding, and it is a direct result of the border invasion that occurred. But thanks to this administration and thanks to your relentless work on the field of battle to protect our citizenry, we are finally curbing those astronomical numbers. And what that means is we are saving American lives. We are providing our children with safe schools and playgrounds so that they can be educated and grow up in a fun neighborhood like we all had the privilege of doing in this great community and in this great country. So when you go out there and you see your communities working with this interagency task force, and you see our brave men and women of law enforcement, it is a team effort. This is not a one-stop, one-man, one group, one agency operation. It happens at every single level. Just yesterday, I was honored to meet with hundreds of law enforcement officers from around the country, and I was even more humbled to graduate 245 police officers from the FBI National Academy, representing 48 states and 24 countries. That is how you put the mission first. You bring these brave warriors who have already dedicated their lives to safeguard our communities. You bring them together to do it again and again and again. And the thing that inspires me most is that they have a relentless desire to make sure that they wake up and end the day in a community that is safer to you all. And I just wanted to talk to you here for a few minutes about that great work. Just last night, 7 narco-trafficking thugs from Colombia were extradited and returned to American soil to face American justice.
What's that address where you're at? Morgan Circle? What'd you say the state is? Tennessee? What city is it? Tennessee. What's your zip code up there? 37144. Alrighty. How's that? I'd put this on the DOT things. And you said you gonna pay. I got 3 of them sent to you. Well, I think you got 5 that are totaled out. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, you got 5 that are totaled out so far. So if you want to look at them, just give me a call back and we'll run them 5. I think we got 1 left out there. So you got 3? Okay.
Hey, question for you. So I fucked up when I bought a rollboard. Have you ever converted a rollboard into sprinklers?
No. You should be able to do it. I've never did one.
I guess as long as it's the same as and I could just go with the hinges and
Yeah. Okay. All right. Bye.
Just the other week, 29 Mexican narco-traffickers from Mexico were repatriated here to America to face American justice. Just in that group alone, you are talking about over 5,000 kilograms of narcotics that would have poured into our country. And you'll see the type of damage that just a little bit of fentanyl can do to our children. And we're talking about thousands and thousands of kilos. Yes, that is a national security crisis, but the good news is the men and women of law enforcement, in conjunction with the brave warriors that we have in Congress, who have the courage to stand up and fight for their representatives and fight for their constituencies are leading the funding and legislation we need to make sure we get this mission done. This is not going to be a short-lived process. Certainly at the FBI, it is something we wake up to every single day and go to bed at every single night. And the thought is singular. What is the best way we can safeguard our citizenry? What are we doing worse? What are we doing better? And what's in between? And when we have those answers for you, you see them delivered in the halls of justice in the courts across this country. And that's the great work that is the tip of the spear. But there is so much work behind it from state and local authorities. We are getting after it, not just where the media normally covers. And I want to highlight the following. The violent crime that plagues our country is also plaguing those on tribal lands. And we are not going to treat them any differently. They all live in the same America that we live in. And they face the same crises that we face. So we will work with our state and local partners on all matters that are affecting tribal lands and Indian reservations to make sure their children are no longer trafficked, to make sure their women are no longer raped and go missing. This mission must be 24/7, 365 from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean. But beyond that, we must go extraterritorially, like I've just told you about. We must go down to the furthest reaches of the planet to make sure that we bring you the justice that you have voted for in this new administration. And we will, and this is my promise to you as the director of the FBI for as long as I'm in this seat, we will never, ever stop fighting violent crime. That is the priority of the FBI along with national security. And we will put every resource and every manning that we have on that mission.
Okay.
And lastly, through this great work, you will see tremendous oversight and reforms at our FBI, which will unfold with our partners in Congress over the coming weeks and months and years ahead. But I want you to pay attention also to what's going on in the halls of Congress, because they are providing us with the resources we need to combat the fentanyl crisis. And this administration is providing us with the tools we need by designating the cartels foreign terrorist organizations, because that's exactly how they should be treated, because that's exactly who they are. And in that pursuit, I look forward to playing a very small part. The FBI will play a very large part, and our interagency partners and our local and state law enforcement officers will start putting more and more and more handcuffs on the bad guys, and good cops across this country will be unleashed to be good cops on a daily basis. And the lasting promise that I will leave you with, and this is a message to the law enforcement community, you have always had the backs of the American people, so the Federal Bureau of Investigation and me as its director will have your backs. Thank you.
How about some of the names on the list? How about that?
Blown. You're going to be blindsided. Every single Israeli prime minister has a fake name. Did you know that?
They're fake Jews.
There goes my heart.
Get a tissue, it says.
'Cause you are the reason I'm losing my sleep. Please come back now. There goes my mind racing.
That ain't gonna make me cry.
And you are the reason that I'm still breathing. I'm hopeless now.
Yeah, that ain't working. What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going, Jay? Think he's got me done.
They get through with you?
Yeah.
They didn't give me no damn work order.
Oh, we did?
Yeah,
I'll let him know.
Tried for her first time to actually knock me out using just the sound.
Real judo right here.
And the energy projection.
What are y'all charging on that? I told him, how long do you think, a half hour? Huh? Quarter hour?
Yeah. Yeah, whatever. When you go charge on the track?
$75.
Teeter, pack your shit up. You both are going.
Hey, what the fuck did I...
I don't know. Gotta pull it up. Fat cats have swollen vaginas.
Co-prisoners who had been grossly mistreated.
Trump talking today? What's that?
Who are here today are state attorneys general from all around the
We're gonna do
country.
a quarter hour on it?
I see all my friends out there, my colleagues.
Huh?
Who will
I'll
work
tell you.
to prosecute violent criminals, get the drugs off our streets, get the gangs off our streets, and get the illegal aliens out of our country. And thank you to all of our federal, state, and local law enforcement officers who are here today who keep us safe every day and night. Thank you to all of you.
It'll be $37.50.
Today we have with us one of the most effective drug seizing teams in the entire country. I said I wish I told them earlier, take them and put them in every major city in the country. Since January, they have saved millions of lives taking drugs and illegal weapons off the streets of Boston. And Todd, they ask us for more U.S. attorneys. I told them we're on it. Could you all please stand? This is Boston's DEA strike team.
She needs to be up there working. She shouldn't be in there talking, doing all these damn.
In Florida for years.
She needs to be working, locking people up.
Highly experienced. She seems so young, but she's highly experienced. That I can tell you. She was a phenomenal attorney general in Florida, and she's going to do a really amazing job. Also,
how you gonna pay it? Credit card?
The FBI.
Yeah. You're looking at $43.75.
A man that I'm very proud of. I've known him and Emil for a long time under tremendous pressure. I saw these guys under some of the most corrupt judges I've.
How much was
it's
it?
not even imaginable how corrupt they were.
You just got that
And
thing.
these guys never wilted. They were not shy. They fought. They weren't afraid, and they were brilliant. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche and Principal Associate Deputy Attorney Emil Beauvais, and thank you both very. Great people.
Yeah.
They're great people. The Chief of Staff, who's so highly respected, Chad Mizell. Thank you, Chad. Chad? Thank you, Chad. Our next administrator of the DEA, Terry Cole. Terry? Thank you, Terry. Good luck. It'll be great. Senior counsel to the Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights. Boy, I've been watching him on television last couple of weeks.
Right there, man.
Really
like I said, you get home, find that little receipt, just take a picture and send it to my phone number so I can see what email they got in there or what name they got in this thing, because it's not pulling up under that.
Okay,
all right, I appreciate it.
Assistant
All right, man.
Attorney General
Have a
of
good
the
one.
Antitrust Division, who's got an incredible reputation. She'll do very, very well. Gail Slater. Thank you, Gail. Good luck. Great job.
Nobody told me Trump was speaking today.
And we're joined by many, many great friends and terrific friends, and I won't be able to, too many to name, but some that I just see very quickly. General Flynn, thank you for being here. Here's a man who went through hell, by the way, and he shouldn't have. He's a patriot. He went through hell. We're also pleased to be joined by Senator Chuck Grassley, House Majority Whip. Where's that? Hi, Chuck. House Majority Whip Tom Emmer. Tom, great job you're doing. Representative Guy Reschenthaler, one of the toughest names to say, but I got it perfectly, I think. And State Attorney General Ken Paxton, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Somebody who was with us early on, and she's really become a big star and very popular, Brenna Bird. Thank you, Brenna. Thank you very much. Steve Marshall, Alan Wilson, James Arthurmeyer, Chris Carr, Dave Sunday, Marty Jackley, as well as White House Deputy Chief of Staff, Stephen Miller. What a man Stephen is. Become a big star. Right, Emil? Steve Miller. Steve has been something very special. For generations, the Federal Department of Justice was one of America's most revered institutions. The men and women of the DOJ brought down the mafia, hunted down the killers, kingpins, and spies, tracked down terrorists and traitors, and tore down corrupt political machines all across America. This department commanded the respect and admiration of the entire world. And with Pam and Cash and all of the people I introduced and far more, big numbers, and all of you sitting back there, I recognize so many of you. But with you leading the way, it'll soon be the most admired and most respected of all. You're going to be more respected, and I really believe that there's also a lot of things to solve, a lot of problems to solve. But that's going to put you in the upper tier and maybe the top tier, and I believe that's going to happen. I'm so proud of the people in this room. But first, we must be honest about the lies and abuses that have occurred within these walls. Unfortunately, in recent years, a corrupt group of hacks and radicals within the ranks of the American government obliterated the trust and goodwill built up over generations. They weaponized the vast powers of our intelligence and law enforcement agencies to try and thwart the will of the American people. You remember the 51 intelligence agents that said, as an example, that Hunter Biden's laptop from hell came from Russia, when they knew it came right from his bedroom. They knew that. It was a big lie, and they knew it so well. They spied on my campaign, launched one hoax and disinformation operation after another, broke the law on a colossal scale, persecuted my family, staff, and supporters, raided my home, Mar-a-Lago, and did everything within their power to prevent me from becoming the President of the United States. With the help of radicals like Mark Elias, Mark Pomerantz, and these are people that nobody's ever seen anything like it. So many others, but these are people that are bad people, really bad people. They tried to turn America into a corrupt, communist, and third world country, but in the end, the thugs failed and the truth won. Freedom won, justice won, democracy won, and above all, the American people won. There could be no more heinous betrayal of American values than to use the law to terrorize the innocent and reward the wicked. And that's what they were doing at a level that's never been seen before. And it's exactly what you saw with Joe Biden, Merrick Garland, and their cronies to do the building of the last 4 years. What they've ripped down is
Chapman.
Incalculable. But what you're going to build up is likewise something that will be breaking all sorts of records. They set loose violent criminals while targeting patriotic parents at school board meetings. They dropped charges against Antifa and Hamas supporters while labeling traditional Catholics as domestic terrorists. The Catholics.
You talking about the VGG truck?
I want to thank them for that.
No, I won't be up here tomorrow.
Record numbers.
I'm up here right now.
I would say
I'm up here right now.
Catholics. They're really after the Catholics, so I don't know. They're after a
How
lot
about
of
Monday?
people. Maybe they didn't even know why. They imported illegal alien murderers, drug dealers, and child predators from all over the world to come into our country while putting elderly Christians and pro-life activists on trial for singing hymns and for saying prayers. They went to jail for that. Our predecessors turned this Department of Justice into the Department of Injustice. But I stand before you today to declare that those days are over, and they are never going to come back. They're never coming back.
I'm gonna go ahead and email it to you again.
So now, as the chief law enforcement officer in our country, I will insist upon and demand full and complete accountability for the wrongs and abuses that have occurred. The American people have given us a mandate like few people thought possible. We won every single swing state. We won the popular vote by millions and millions of people. We won districts, 2,750. Think of that, 2,750 districts compared to 505.
Yeah, I'm sending this to you. I'm emailing it to you now.
I don't believe ever seen before. That's the one where you see the map of the United States and it's all red.
All right, yeah, I just sent it to you.
Republican, not for communist. Red for
All right.
Republican.
All right, man.
They would like it to turn red for communists, but it didn't work out that way. The American people have given us a mandate and really just a far-reaching investigation is what they are demanding into the corruption of our system, and that's exactly, I'm sure, what Pam and Cash and everyone else mentioned here and not mentioned is going to be doing. We will expel the rogue actors and corrupt forces from our government. We will expose and very much expose their egregious crimes and severe misconduct, of which was levels you've never seen anything like it. It's going to be legendary. It's going to also be legendary for the people that are able to seek it out and bring justice. We will restore the scales of justice in America, and we will ensure that such abuses never happen again in our country. And that's why on day one I signed an executive order banning all government censorship and directing the removal of every bureaucrat who conspired to attack free speech and many other things and values in America. My administration stripped the security clearances of the disgraced intelligence agents who lied about Hunter Biden's laptop from hell. We revoked the clearances of deranged Jack Smith, Alvin Bragg, Letitia James, and the crooked law firms that aided their partisan persecutions. And I went through it. These are state and city courts, and the corruption is unbelievable. We also terminated the clearances of the Biden crime family and Joe Biden himself. He didn't deserve it. In fact, he was essentially found guilty, but they said he was incompetent, and therefore let's not find him guilty, I guess. Nobody knows what that ruling was, but I didn't want any part of it. I think I would have rather been found guilty than what they found with him. They said he didn't know what the hell he was doing, and therefore he's let him go. I said, you know, I'd rather be convicted, Pam. I think that was not, I said, please convict me, don't say that. I pardoned hundreds of political prisoners who had been grossly mistreated. We removed senior FBI officials who misdirected resources to send SWAT teams after grandmothers and J6
They're putting the shaft and stuff in it now.
It was a great honor for me
Rings
to
around.
fire. I will tell you this.
You ain't been in there?
A great honor.
Yeah, go in there. They're working on it in the door right there.
A great honor. That was nothing. There was no better day. A lot of people said, oh, that's too bad you did that. And they said that's going to be, and you know what? A year later, they said that actually saved the administration, because the level of corrupt things that we learned after that turned out to be that they were doing, in fact, really bad things. He was a terrible person, did terrible things, and persecuted people, and all in the guise
Yeah, that
of
guy's
being
here.
an angel. He wasn't an angel. We
That's good.
created a brand new DOJ
I
task
out with y'all
force
for a
on
while, so y'all get something
anti-Christian
done.
bias. And under Director Patel, we're getting the FBI agents out.
Well, y'all best get to work on that
headquarters in
damn clutch.
Washington, D.C. and back on the streets in pursuit of dangerous criminals where they belong and where they want to be. And, you know, you have that big FBI building, and it's a very big
There's
building.
some more
They're
stuff in
gonna
there for
build
you.
an FBI headquarters 3 hours away in Maryland, a liberal state, but that has no bearing on what I'm about to say, but we're going to stop it. Not going to let that happen. We're going to build another big FBI building right where it is, which would have been the right place, because the FBI and the DOJ have to be near
Well,
each
you ought
other.
to be
can't have
sticking that damn
That's one
clutch in
thing I
there.
did learn from this persecution. The FBI and the DOJ work together. Now, in my
Don't
case,
worry
they
about the
work
mess.
together
Get to
for
work putting
bad
that damn
purposes,
thing in
but
there,
they do. They
Stuart.
work together. So how can you have one
Man.
that's 3 hours away? But one thing I said to Cash, well, we're
Well,
gonna
y'all
get a
stack it
great
on in
building
there.
built.
Well,
It's gonna be
y'all
a
wouldn't pull it back out
magnificent
here and then
building.
stack
He
it
said,
on.
Sir, we don't need that kind of room. I said, what do you mean? He said, I'm just going to take a
Yeah,
old Department of
Let's go,
Commerce
Jody.
building that's about
Let's go.
25% the size, and that's what I need. We're going to have the best staff that you've ever seen, and that's what I need. It's in a nice location, but I don't need that big building. Why don't you just sell the site to somebody and we're going to be very happy. And they want to have far fewer people, but we also want to have them in D.C. And if for no other reason, we like having law enforcement walking the streets of our capital, because when the bad guys are out there and they see there's an FBI agent, that's the ultimate in law enforcement, and they're not going to be acting so bad. We're cleaning up our city, we're cleaning up this great capital, and we're not going to have crime, and we're not going to stand for crime. And we're
getting all over my hands
down, and we're already taking the tents down, and we're working with the administration. And if the administration can't do the job, we're going to have to take it back and run it through the federal government. But we hope the administration is going to be able. So
only
far,
two
they've
people
been
over
doing
here.
very well. The mayor's been doing a good
only
job.
Two.
We said there are tents galore right opposite the State Department. They have to come.
Only two people in here. Bell building was rotated 90 degrees over a month. 20 million pound structure was moved 15 inches an hour. 600 employees still work there with no interruption to gas, heat, electricity, water, sewage, or telephone. That's crazy.
It's time to speak up. If you're a MAGA and you call yourself a Christian, I need to have a word with you.
Okay.
Because you see, Scripture says that if you have an issue with your brother, you're to go to your brother. And that's what I'm doing right now. I am following the example that is outlined in Scripture for when you have a disagreement with a fellow believer. You see, I was raised in a very conservative evangelical home in a red county, in a red state, and I still live in a red county, in a red state. I also was raised to know Christ, and I have followed Christ since I was 5 years old. I have read the Bible cover to cover. I've taught Sunday school and Bible study and can probably quote as much scripture as anyone out there. And I am telling you, if I didn't know Jesus and I saw the Republican Party of today, and I was told this is an example of what Christians are, I would run as far and as fast the other direction as I possibly could. Because what we, and I say we because I used to be there, what the Republican Party is showing is greed and power over generosity and kindness. It is selfishness over selflessness. It is oppressing the poor and the immigrant over helping the poor and the immigrant.
You mean the illegals? You're mixing that word up there, illegals.
Things that you are showing do not accurately reflect Christ. And brother or sister, I'm going to tell you, you need to choose right now. Either identify yourself as a MAGA or identify yourself as a follower of Christ, but the two do not go together. And because of what you are doing, you are harming the kingdom. You are pushing people away from the Jesus we are supposed to reflect. There is nothing scriptural about the policies that MAGA is pushing. In fact, it is just the opposite. We know, if you know Jesus, this would be the time in the Bible he would be flipping tables. And I am coming to you as a brother or sister in Christ to say, you got to reassess. You have got to reassess because you are pushing people away from Jesus. We are supposed to be salty and bright. We are supposed to be the light on the hill. And what we are projecting is completely un-Christ-like.
Okey doke. Attorney General Bill Barr and Jeffrey Epstein, we already know it. Emilio Estevez, that's Charlie Sheen, and his brother's got the AIDS of tiger blood. Said he raped that boy. He is directing Young Guns 3 and will be filmed in New Mexico with him, Lou Diamond Phillips, and Christian Slater returning. All right. I know what you see the size of that chicken? They was doing that peyote. You see the size of that chicken? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Shit.
I've got no roots. My home was never on the ground. I've got no roots.
Boom. Not the finger. He doesn't give him the finger. What you need to do is start working on your taekwondo.
I've got and my home was never on the ground. I've got no roots.
Recent presidential election. Here at Don't Cry Cryo, we understand your pain, and we're here to help. Our expert team of cryogenic care providers can cryogenically freeze you until the Trump presidency has ended. No more crying, no more anxiety attacks, just blissful sleep until Trump is gone. When you awaken from your slumber, we'll even have a party ready and waiting for you. It will be like his presidency never even happened. It was all just a bad dream. As an added bonus, you can choose the Vance add-on package. We'll extend your sleep for an additional 4 years at a 50% discount in the event J.D. Vance wins the next presidential election. Everything will be okay. We're here to take care of you in your time of need. So remember, don't cry, cryo.
Start date January 6, 2033.
Where am I? Oh, please tell me it's over. Wait, something isn't right.
This is your captain, Elon Musk. I want to be the first one to welcome you to Mars. Sorry, Donald Trump Jr. was just elected president, and he deported all Don't Cry Cryo customers to Mars.
What the...
Sebastian Coe, the
incoming president of the Olympic Committee, Sebastian Coe, visited Epstein Island at least 11 times. Remember the 2024 Paris Olympics, where the games demonstrated their satanic tendencies through their entire event?
main candidate to succeed Thomas Bach as the president of the International Olympic Committee, is facing a major scandal just days before the election. Coe's name has surfaced in the Jeffrey Epstein's flight logs, which were recently released by the U.S. Department of Justice. Epstein was a wealthy financier who is accused of running a vast sex trafficking network involving underage girls. He had high-profile connections with politicians and celebrities. Sebastian Coe, a four-time Olympic medalist, appears to be one of Epstein's closest associates, judging by the fact that he visited the infamous Epstein sex island at least 11 times, according to the flight logs. This makes Lord Coe yet another British citizen, allegedly involved in a sex trafficking ring, others being Prince Andrew and Sir Richard Branson. Epstein's Island became famous as the site where Epstein trafficked and sexually abused underage girls, often involving high-profile guests. Coe's surfaced connection to Epstein deals a major blow to his reputation and severely undermines his chances of becoming the next president of the IOC.
Deeper than a hollow. Sweeter than Tennessee wine.
Well, I've heard those city singers singing about how they can love deeper than the oceans, higher than the stars above. Well, I come from the country and I know I ain't seen it all, 'cause I heard that ocean salty and the stars that sometimes fall, and that would
in the ocean.
Honest about the lies and abuses that have occurred within these walls. Unfortunately, in recent years, a corrupt group of hacks and radicals within the ranks of the American government obliterated the trust and goodwill built up over generations. They weaponized the vast powers of our intelligence and law enforcement agencies to try and thwart the will of the American people. You remember the 51 intelligence agents that said, as an example, that Hunter Biden's laptop from hell came from Russia, when they knew it came right from his bedroom. They knew that. It was a big lie, and they knew it so well. They spied on my campaign, launched one hoax and disinformation operation after another, broke the law on a colossal scale, persecuted my family, staff, and supporters, raided my home, Mar-a-Lago, and did everything within their power to prevent me from becoming the President of the United States. with the help of radicals like Mark Elias, Mark Pomerantz, and these are people that nobody's ever seen anything like it. It's so many others, but these are people that are bad people, really bad people. They tried to turn America into a corrupt, communist, and third world country. But in the end, the thugs failed and the truth won. Freedom won, justice won, democracy won, and above all, the American people won. There could be no more heinous betrayal of American values than to use the law to terrorize the innocent and reward the wicked. And that's what they were doing at a level that's never been seen before.
Let's see somebody go to jail then.
Us. So we spent a lot of time together. He actually had invited me down to meet him at his house. We ended up spending maybe about 4 hours together. I found him to be incredibly engaging, very, very humble. I mean, we had communicated many times, but that was the first time that we had seen each other in person. Zero ego, just two guys. We literally hugged, sat there for 4 hours, completely locked in, sometimes discussing some very personal and intimate things, sometimes discussing about maintaining human consciousness via interplanetary travel. So sometimes it got very, esoteric and philosophical. Now I could say it because he's mentioned it himself. He told me that the original, trigger for him that got him into the woke mind virus was the reality that he faced with his own son, who became his daughter, right? At the time, I didn't know if that was public, so I never had mentioned it. But, he was confiding in me in a very trusting way, in a very intimate way. So I thought he was just absolutely lovely. I mean, he is an eccentric guy, but I've got nothing but positive affection for him.
All right. Sounds like y'all could be lovers.
Is the ability to...
5-year anniversary of most egregious crimes against humanity. We have people walking around with no immune system, no ability to make an immune system. They were injected with 81 strands of foreign bacteria and 8 strands of foreign HIV.
Use white blood
You
cell
got the AIDS. Tiger blood.
by 50% from your first vaccine. Then 8 weeks later, which is white blood cell reproductive system. So your ability to make another generation of white blood cells is 8 weeks. That's why they set it up 8 weeks later to hit it again. So you hit the white blood cell ability while it's down. So now what you do is now they decrease the saline in the second one and they increase the harmful ingredients. So now you have a shift in the ingredients. So they decrease the saline and increase. So now there's a shift. And then what they do is that second dose attacks your ability to make white blood cells by an additional 25%. So now you only have white blood cell ability, like the ability to make white blood cells functioning at 25%. So you just wiped out 75% of your military and the ability to make that military. Then what they do is they set in the booster. The booster has 81 strands of foreign bacteria that your cells have never come across, so you don't have the antibodies to fight it, but you only have 25% of your white blood cell production to be able to fight it, so it's a losing battle. So then what starts to happen is you start to get chronic inflammation that goes to the areas that you had predisposition. So if you are someone that has gut health issues, that's your area that is going to focus on, and you're going to have inflammation in the gut health. If it's respiratory, if you have tumor or cancer, or if you have, say, endometriosis, or you have a skin condition, whatever that is, it's going to inflame that area because now the body has hit the sympathetic nervous system, which is the fight or flight, and the body is in a chronic inflammatory state with a low immunity and a low immune response. Then you get your second booster. What the second booster has is it has 8 strands of HIV. And now what that does is it completely shuts off your ability to make white blood cells. And if you Google what that disease is, it is HIV. So now we have people that are walking around with no immune system, no ability to make an immune system, 81 strands of foreign bacteria, and then also 8 strands of foreign HIV, along with all the other harmful ingredients.
Powers combined.
Huh?
My name is Powers combined. We got it on there.
Let's go. Let's get stabbed up in there.
time. But this is the most amazing period of time. I think this is more amazing. What's taking place is more amazing. I think it's more consequential. And if we do the job, you know, one of the big media outlets said what we did was the most consequential election in the last 129 years.
Down here, it ain't going straight into the
job that we're all capable of doing. I think
it's gonna come right here.
It's going to prove to be that, and then some, and that's what we want to do. We have an amazing period of time. But,
I don't know why
this is
I
the
that
most
gun.
amazing period of time. I think this is
What
more
money?
amazing. What's taking place is more amazing. I think it's more
$200,
consequential.
$299.
And
Pull it up.
if we do the job, you know, one of the big media outlets said what we did was the most consequential election in the last 129 years. Well, if we do the job that we're all capable of doing, I think it's going to be, it's going to prove to be that, and then some, and that's what we want to do. We have
Typically costs around $700. I can go on here right now and get one for $299.
I think this is
You ain't got to buy one. I got one for $299. I got one for free.
amazing. I think it's more consequential. And,
Well, that's what it cost you. It didn't cost me that. Remember how you told that car was costing you what? 12? Yeah, remember?
What do you think?
Yeah.
Oh, you gonna put the mark down on it?
Chapman's. Hello? Hello?
I already got 2 other guns anyway, so I don't need that one. I got 2 more. I got 2 more pistols.
I hear you.
I do.
That's good.
Hold me close, hold me tight.
See the clip on? Yeah. That's what they call it. Huh?
such a nice person. That's a rough picture.
Yeah.
It's a rough picture.
We're waiting on Jay.
I use it like a stand.
Saying if you have a media machine that purposefully lies to its people to maintain a political fiction and get themselves power, that is the hallmark of an authoritarian system, not a democratic system.
Absolutely.
Well, if we were ever to get something like that in the United States, we would be horrified, furious to know that there was an entire media organization designed to bend reality, to manipulate facts, to maintain power. It would, if I may, and I'm not trying to slam Hungary, it would never happen in the United States. It's just not, I almost can't even conjure it, imagine it. It must be very difficult to live in a country where one media organization, out of whole cloth, knowingly, explicitly, maybe even in meetings behind the scenes might say, we're lying to our audience, holy shit, and then call for news people to be fired for telling the truth. I mean, if something like that happened in the United States, it would be a dark day indeed. So I appreciate you raising the alarm bells for us.
دنالي وقبل طبطبني طبطبي 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 طبطبني والسقف سقسقني والرقص قد طاب إلي والعود دندنني وقبل طبطبني.
Because they actually don't mind when people say, I'm Christian. You know, they don't really mind that. They don't mind when people say, oh, I'm Muslim. Because Jews don't believe that Gentiles even have souls. Don't believe me? Look at what who they think is the Messiah says. The Hasidic Jews believe that Rabbi Schneerson, Menahem Mendel Schneerson, who was the Rebbe of the Chabad Lubavitch dynasty, they believe that he was the Messiah. He was the 7th Rebbe, the 7th generation leader of that Hasidic dynasty.
I would like to see a debate between him and...
This is him, not me. This is not
Ben
anti-Semite
Shapiro.
Nick Fuentes, anti-Semite Candace Owens. It's what he said. Rabbi Schneerson, who many Jews believe was the Messiah, who died, and they worship his gravesite in Brooklyn. They think it has magical powers. He said that Gentiles don't have souls. Their Talmud says that we look like human beings, we're actually animals. They believe that we don't even need to go to God for forgiveness because we're so low that their laws don't even apply to us. We have a different set of laws. They don't really care about what we do. They don't want to convert us to Judaism. They don't want us to observe their law. They think we're literally too low and cannot participate. They believe we're a lower form of life. So when you go around and just say, hey man, I have this religion, they're like, yeah, whatever. They're like, yeah, who cares? Whatever. We're building our temple. We're observing our law. We have our testament, our covenant with God. You can go and do whatever you want. We don't care that much. But when a Gentile comes and says, Christ is your king, Christ is king, Jesus is the king of the Jews, he's the king of the world. They say, don't say that though. Then they say, he's not our king. They say, that's actually a problem. That's blasphemy. How dare you say that guy, that rebel who was killed on the cross, you think he's our king? You think that servile person is our king? How dare you?
Jobby.
My hands what happened in the
You
past.
killed a million people in Iraq.
That is a separate...
You killed a million people in Iraq. It's incredible that you have the brass neck to be sitting here now urging another Iraq war.
We should have never been in Iraq. We have destabilized the Middle East. I want to tell you, they lied. They said there were weapons of mass destruction. There were none, and they knew there were none.
When are you going to apologize for the million Iraqis that are dead because you lied? You lied about weapons of mass destruction. You lied about connections to 9/11. You lied about Iraqi descent. Who sent me to Iraq? Who sent me to Iraq? That's free. My friends are dead.
Ladies right there, That's all the Jews doing too. Fake Jew, Khazarian Mafia.
Anything like it. It's going to be legendary. It's going to also be legendary for the people that are able to seek it out and bring justice. We will restore the scales of justice in America, and we will ensure that such abuses never happen again in our country. And that's why on day one I signed an executive order.
How'd y'all like that title for today's show?
Banning all government censorship and directing the removal of every bureaucrat who conspired to attack free speech and many other things and values in America. My administration stripped the security clearances of the disgraced intelligence agents who lied about Hunter Biden's laptop from hell. We revoked the clearances of deranged Jack Smith, Alvin Bragg, Letitia James, and the crooked law firms that aided their partisan persecutions. And I went through it. These are, I've never seen anything like it. And we're joined by many, many great friends and terrific friends, and I won't be able to, too many to name, but some that I just see very quickly. General Flynn, thank you for being here. There's a man who went through hell, by the way, and he shouldn't have. He's a patriot. He went through hell. We're also pleased to be joined by Senator. And we're joined by many, many great friends and terrific friends.
We have a new FBI, and I'm humbled and honored to be its leader. We have a courageous Attorney General in General Pam Bondi. We have incredible leaders throughout our law enforcement community, whether it be at the FBI, the DEA, HSI, CBP, ATF, and the list goes on. I've been privileged to meet so many of them in my first month on board here. I look around and I see state attorneys generals that have been doing the work hand in glove with local, state, and federal law enforcement. And our mission, and my mission specifically, is to tell you what we've been doing in this first month. And I told you when I got this job that we would crush violent crime, that we would take the fight to anyone who wishes to do harm to our way of life and to hurt our citizenry, that we would go to the ends of the earth to bring them back to face American justice produced right here in this very hall, in this very building. To that effort, we have done just that. And a special shout out, I know my Boston contingent is here on St. Paddy's Day. Thank you for the great work you guys have been doing and across the rest of the FBI. But right here in Virginia, or across the river in Virginia, The FBI stood up an interagency task force at our Manassas office, and in just 2.5 short weeks, we have arrested over 300 violent felonies, gang members, including MS-13 and 18 gangsters. We have taken seizure of hundreds of pounds of narcotics and hundreds of weapons and currency and illicit goods. That's just what you can do when you put the brave men and women of law enforcement in one room and get the hell out of their way. And we are going to do that in every state across this country. In Massachusetts alone, in the last couple of weeks, they have indicted federally over 50 violent gang members and narco traffickers, seizing almost 200 kilograms of fentanyl. There is no time.
I ain't gonna be up here in the morning.
For us to.
I ain't gonna be up here in the morning. Give me my phone number. All right. All right. Chapman. Hello? Hello?
Waste on this job, and that's why under President Trump's leadership and General Bondi's leadership, we've been instructed to get after it. And that's exactly what we are doing. We have to especially get after it when we lose an American citizen every 7 minutes to a drug overdose. We have to especially get after it when a man or child is, a woman or child is raped in this country nearly every 6 minutes. And we have to especially get after it when there are 2 homicides nearly every hour in this country. Violent crime is exploding, and it is a direct result of the border invasion that occurred. But thanks to this administration and thanks to your relentless work on the field of battle to protect our citizenry, we are finally curbing those astronomical numbers. And what that means is we are saving American lives. We are providing our children with safe schools and playgrounds so that they can be educated and grow up in a fun neighborhood like we all had the privilege of doing in this great community and in this great country. So when you go out there and you see your communities working with this interagency task force, and you see our brave men and women of law enforcement, it is a team effort. This is not a one-stop, one-man, one-group, one-agency operation. It happens at every single level. Just yesterday, I was honored to meet with hundreds of law enforcement officers from around the country, and I was even more humbled to graduate 245 police officers from the FBI National Academy, representing 48 states and 24 countries. That is how you put the mission first. You bring these brave warriors who have already dedicated their lives to safeguard our communities. You bring them together to do it again and again and again. And the thing that inspires me most is that they have a relentless desire to make sure that they wake up and end the day in a community that is safer to you all.
His sign says he's got his name, which is all the way
Then I won't be
13 letters.
Yeah.
And his phone number and the address. And he just wants it facing when you turn off a DL and you on your John, you want to be able to see his thing right
FBI agents raiding an art gallery in New York City and confiscating a Rembrandt painting yesterday.
The FBI, we're taking see if it's on the sip, we have to follow it up. Use us, come through. Shame on you! Shame on you!
This is what you need to figure out, right? What you're going to be eating this weekend. Should have let that shit stretch on out.
What should I charge you for this fucking sign?
You should have let that shit stretch on out, especially if you got them baked beans and shit.
Well, I did. I saved him some, and he said, "Don't worry about it," because I got me a little plate up just a minute ago, and I saved half of it for him, but he didn't want it.
Stop scaring yourself. How often do you terrorize yourself with your own thoughts? You get into absolute terror, and it's only coming from your thoughts. Nobody out there is doing a thing. Sometimes it's an old family pattern. Sometimes we get new things. You know, we find so many ways to scare ourselves. I would like people, when you have time, to make a list of your fears. Make a list of your fears and then give yourself the opportunity to turn each fear into a positive affirmation. Turn each one into something positive. And remember, always you are in charge. You are always in charge. Stop scaring yourself. How often do you terrorize yourself with your own thoughts? You get into absolute terror, and it's only coming from your thoughts. Nobody out there is doing a thing. Sometimes it's an old family pattern. Sometimes we get new things. You know, we find so many ways to scare ourselves. I would like people, when you have time, to make a list of your fears. Make a list of your fears, and then give yourself the opportunity to turn each fear into a positive affirmation. Turn each one into something positive. And remember, always you are in charge. You are always in charge. Stop scaring yourself. How often do you terrorize yourself with your own thoughts?
Hold on, let's talk about that Mexican guy. That whooped your ass.
When I said, hey,
he got beat up by a Mexican guy down there, and a Mexican hobo beat him up.
I said, hey,
what did he take from him?
I said, hey, you, I can hear what you say, with my translator. And it's another one would come over there and say, and then he was doing this. That's how he was jerking like this.
You're lucky you didn't get shot, man.
And he all had rings on. That's why it cut me. Because when I pushed the fat one down, that's when he hit me. That was cool. I took that. I didn't even know I was bleeding. And then I come with my shit, and it was just too much for Guatemala. I mean, he had guts, and he hit me in the face, and he cut me open.
He said, "Gringo, don't scare him."
He had a ringo on his fingers.
Yeah.
So that's what cut me. It wasn't, the punch wasn't nothing. I mean, I felt it, but I mean, it wasn't like, he was fat too, wide, and he got low to the ground, and they hard to hurt and hit.
Oh, I believe he expects violence. I believe he expects confrontation. I believe he's working toward a civil war. What does Trump expect? Oh, I believe he expects violence. I believe he expects confrontation.
Kids anywhere, and a lot of work.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's the capital of Homer. And it was, because I was like, hey.
They're probably all illegal.
No, there was some were, but most of them just shot out white boys.
I think they're probably all illegal.
Out of 10 of them, out of 10
white boys down there, they didn't help you?
Out of 10
they let 2 Mexican guys jump on you?
Wasn't nobody there but me and a lady, Maria.
I thought you said there was some white boys down there.
Yeah, they come up later because the bus station gets a big unit. So when there's a commotion going on, you'd have to come across this way. This is city bus side, and then there's the.
They got no police out there?
They patrol the street, but they don't walk that bus station.
The bus station ain't got their own security?
I wonder if I can get money from them.
Probably good. I'd go. Look, I got a scar.
Hey, look, man,
because that's a scar.
I was tapping.
But look, chicks dig scars.
Did it scar? Because I don't see it much.
Oh yeah, I can see it. Chicks dig scars, man.
It was bleeding too, boy. I said, I'm bleeding. He said, man, God dang, you bleeding. I said,
bleeding bad.
And so I
V krátkom čase pláde som sa zavial.
I was showing up with bleeding. I thought the elegance. I'm on blood pressure.
He said you was leaking.
It got me good, but it felt good to get it.
Woke fight is unacceptable in everything. If I'm with my 5 friends and I'm going toilet in the club and I come back and I see someone punch one of my friends, I am annihilating anybody in that guy's group. We'll find out why later. I'm just hitting him. When everyone's asleep and the threat is neutralized, I'm like, bro, what the fuck is that? Oh, I started it. It's like, oh, fuck it. So they have to have that loyalty and that devotion to the bravery.
Loyalty and devotion, man.
And the first officer took surgery table with my
A lawsuit claims that he was a dirty cop while working for rapper Sean Diddy Combs 7 years ago. Pelletier is denying all of the allegations. But Maui's mayor is asking the police commission to...
He went down to Texas and that Mexican whooped his ass and they run him out of town.
Yeah, but I just came out of the hospital. I was 65%.
65?
Yeah. I mean, you gotta be at least 80 to like keep Guatemala.
What do you mean 80? What are they, like 4'5"?
Yeah, it's scary, man. They're little and they're talking to you the whole time. I was like, oh shit. It was
man, what do you weigh, like 105 pounds?
Probably, they were round. They were
But they're short. How about 105 pounds?
150, but they 5'4".
I know this guy named Frank.
5'4".
He's like 5'4", 5'5". He probably weighs maybe $130.
Okay, these cats been here, they eat burritos and drink tequila all their life, and them zombies got pot bellies and they got little squatty legs. And
Molly got parasites.
And they loaded the ground, so they're not like you up here with.
Put him on leave until this case is resolved, or Eddie Dowd has the story.
In the nearly 90-page civil lawsuit filed by Ashley Parham and two unnamed people, Maui Police Chief John Pelletier is accused of being hired security for Sean Diddy Combs in 2018. It claims Pelletier, who was a Las Vegas police captain, posed as a sheriff deputy in California to respond to an alleged gang rape involving Combs. The alleged victim claims Pelletier told her to go home but offered no help or medical care. The woman claims Pelletier gave her an envelope to a neighbor which she believed to be full of cash. She claims Pelletier later took her and another plaintiff at gunpoint to his home, restrained them, and refused to let them call an attorney and made various moves to cover up the kidnapping. The Maui Police Department said in a statement, Chief Pelletier has no connections to anyone in the lawsuit. The allegations are unfounded and false, and the plaintiffs are spreading misleading narratives. But Maui County Mayor Richard Bisson has requested that the Maui County Police Commission puts the chief on administrative leave during the investigation, saying, "This approach does not constitute a presumption of guilt, but ensures that the individual in question is not in a position that may compromise the integrity of the office while the matter is under review." Retired HPD Deputy Chief John McCarthy believes it's too early to suspend Pelletier.
It's outside the jurisdiction of the Maui County officials, so it'd be a difficult thing because of location for one to look at. It just, a lot of it just doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. You know, people like to drag people with a name through something like this. They're making allegations that need to be proven in a court.
The Maui Police Commission will now have to vote on whether to place Pelletier on leave. The next meeting has not been announced. Eddie Dowd, Hawaii News Now.
Taking a shadow renowned bald eagle pair of Big Bear Valley protect their new eaglets amidst 80 to 100 mile winds. I got one of them. Here, put this back. We got one right here. Here. See all that other information on your paperwork, your paperwork, your address and all that? 71 Morgan Circle, Petersburg, Tennessee. You gotta put it on your ticket. You gotta write it on your ticket. Chicks out in the damn middle of winter.
Into the Department of Education. Public education is a critical part, not just of how we build a future, but also of our democracy. I support public education. Ultimately, Donald Trump and Elon Musk do not have the right to shut down the Department of Education. It was created by Congress. Only Congress has that right. But just the very fact that they want to do everything they can to insult public school teachers, to insult public school students, and to insult the communities that depend on and support those public schools is truly despicable. What's your reaction to what happened to the Department of Education? Public education is a critical part. Not
in the
just
video,
of
somebody
how we build a future.
someone, Hakeem Jeffries was.
There's a stranger in my bed. There's a pounding in my head. Glitter all over the room.
Joe Biden on clean energy, former White House Chief of Staff to President Bill Clinton, Counsel for President Barack Obama. I be eating strawberries all day. Chapman. What'd you say your name was? John Murphy. That's a good Punjabi name. Your damn name ain't no John Murphy. Quit lying. Before he had his fall. You know, he fell off a mountain. He was drunk.
Good morning, everybody. Hello, this is Reaper, and I am back.
Don't even try. He's not leaving his video games for any woman.
Back with another announcement. All right, all you bitches, all you females, all you women, if you are coming to my page looking for a relationship, go fuck yourself. Because I am not leaving my video games for no bitch. I'm sorry. Video games are my priority. Women are nothing but cancer and a total disgrace to this fucking society. I'm sorry, but you girls are not of interest to me. I don't know how many times I can say that without actually going blue in the face, but I'm being factual. So please, go fuck yourself. Find another man to bother. Do not be bothering men at fucking 4, 3, 2 a.m. in the fucking morning. We actual normal people are actually fucking sleeping. Please go fuck yourself. Video games for life. Good morning, everyone.
Heart death grid system has been ramping up blasting pulses across the U.S. This is from the day. Trying to start another storm.
False flags are very useful.
Yeah, I know.
Very useful. And they work.
I know.
They work, sadly. USS Liberty. USS Liberty, a famous false flag. You know, you want to get us in the war against Egypt? Well, then Israel and the CIA collaborate and bomb and kill American sailors on the USS Liberty. Too bad you didn't kill all of them, because a lot of them lived. And they told the world what the hell happened when they tried to use American sailors as a false flag to get us into a war against Egypt. Didn't work. Even though Lyndon Johnson and the CIA tried their damnedest to work with Israel to do it.
So you think Lyndon Johnson knew that American sailors were being murdered?
100%. It goes all the way to him. You could read Blood in the Water, Joan Mellon's incredible book.
That's so evil that I can't even...
He's such an evil human being. Such an evil human being. But don't ask Doris Kearns Goodwin that, because, you know, she'll write a book about how amazing he is. But he was an evil son of a bitch. And he knew. In fact, and wouldn't allow them to be rescued, by the way. Not only knew about it, but wouldn't allow them to be rescued. They hoped that every American died in the waters that day, but they didn't.
Yeah.
And a lot of other people knew it too, in the CIA. So I love when people today...
some poor American sailors on a surveillance ship, not lightly armed, not really armed. I think they had like
it was a spy ship.
So, yeah.
Yeah. With massive American flags on the deck, were a friendly ship. And the Israelis knew it. They had it in their control room on the wall. Friendly. They knew it. And the scout ships that were flying that morning knew it. So it's a lie that it was a mistake. It was not a mistake. We have the documents. We know that it wasn't a mistake. It was intentional.
But I didn't realize... I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
And you're not allowed to say it for some reason.
No, you can't say. Like, these are things that you're not allowed to talk about.
Right. You can criticize the U.S. government, but,
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I will say, I mean, it infuriates me that you can criticize your own government, but not a foreign government. That's so grotesque.
You can criticize
on the other hand, you also
not,
give any foreign
Israel.
government a pass if it's acting in its own interest. It's like, they don't care about you. You're a foreign country. Right. I get it. But the idea of our country allowing the murder of our own sailors who did nothing wrong, were sent there, by the way, conscripted. We had the draft then.
Yeah.
Maybe not even there voluntarily.
It's a great point.
That the U.S. government knows that? I mean, I didn't know that until you just told me.
I hope the Trump administration, I hope Congressman Luna, who's been, heading up the
JFK Epstein.
Yeah, the release of files whole thing.
Because you can't just release them. You have to have a congressional committee to hide them even longer.
You have to redact things and hide them and then release, like,
This is not disclosure.
Hand out binders, No, I hope the Trump administration, I've spoken to these veterans of the USS Liberty, and their hope is that the Trump administration and the Defense Secretary, Pete Hegseth, will actually do a full investigation into this. Openly, publicly, and not pull any punches because of our friends in Israel, but actually put it all out there and go through the full investigation. Testimony from the veterans who were seeing eyeballs of the individuals that were bombing them and killing them on board the USS Liberty.
Strafing them, too.
Strafing them. And when they got in the water, strafing them. And knew that they were friendly. Is that true? Yeah. And knew that they were friendly. The captain of the ship said he'd never moved his ship as quickly. He'd never, I don't know the terminology, I'm not a sea captain, but he floored it in a way that he'd never done before. He was told with urgency to get there and to be put in position. And he was like, why am I being put in a position like in a kill zone? Like, why can I go another mile offshore when I'll be safe? No, you need to be right in this spot.
So the Pentagon set it up?
Oh, yeah, the
for
CIA
them to be killed.
The CIA collaborated with the Israeli government and maneuvered a U.S. ship to this position to be killed, to be destroyed. The mission was for it to be totally destroyed. So you don't have people coming on my show telling you what they saw that day. Like, they all were supposed to be dead. Gulf of Tonkin, Remember the Maine, you could go down the list, 9/11, drones over the east coast of the United States. Like, these false flags work for a reason.
But you can't kill your own people. You're not allowed to do that. That's just got to be a red line.
The CIA would never kill its own people.
You can't kill your own people, period.
Yeah, you can.
You're supposed to protect your own people. You're in charge of these people.
Right.
It's like killing your own children.
Tuskegee experiment. You can't kill your own people. You can't put American ships and American sailors in waters and then test nuclear weapons on them. You can't do that. You can't have the Tuskegee experiment. We have a long history of doing these things, and
I just feel like that's a pretty bright line. Like, I'm leading people. I have to do whatever I can, up to and very much including giving my own life.
Yeah.
To protect them, to act in their interest. That's why I'm the leader.
Right.
That's the way you feel about your children should be a species of the way you feel about anybody you lead. I'm in charge.
Yeah.
I get the benefits of being in charge, but I also have, the responsibility, the burden of being in charge, which is to act in their interest and sacrifice myself for them. It's super simple. That's the basic bargain. People will follow, children will follow a father, men will follow an officer, if that's the deal, right? But if you violate that, if you say, well, I'm going to kill people I'm supposed to be saving, then you've broken the deal, and you are not a legitimate leader, and you can get fragged at that point, actually, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's totally fair, right?
Yeah.
This Rabbi Kessin, I like the way he interprets Torah, because it's very like the way I interpret Torah to the way I understand it. But he's saying that he's trying to warn people, and I told him I would help because I believe it too. Try to warn people that a time is coming quickly, quicker than we know or understand or perceive. A time is coming when we will no longer be able to choose right from wrong. We won't be able to do that anymore, because what happens is when Mashiach is made known, when Mashiach makes its presence known, the whole world is going to change. And what's going to happen is none of the old laws are going to apply, and there will be no more free will. So it's wise that you get into repenting and understand what you've done with your free will, and try to correct what you haven't corrected with your free will. Like letting yourself be used. Just going along to get along, not rocking the boat, you know.
In an antique store. It's from roughly, I think, 1825 or 1836, between that area. The first thing about this Bible that I noticed was the first page. This is a map of Palestine. It's a map of Palestine, not Israel, which is very, very interesting. One of my favorite verses is Matthew 7, verses 21 through 23, and this is Jesus talking. Huge point about Christianity, and this is Jesus speaking. Many will say unto me on that day, Lord, Lord, calling him God. We used to pray in your name, in the name of Jesus. We used to work miracles, and we used to cast out demons in the name of Jesus, not God. What does Jesus say? Get away from me, you evildoers, you lawless people, you workers of iniquity. Get away from me. This is Jesus on the day of judgment, disowning his own people. Why? Because they didn't worship God. The more you read this book, the more it is impossible to be a Christian. This Bible, I bought it in an antique store. It's from roughly, I think, 1825 or 1836, between that area. The first thing about this Bible that I noticed was the first page. This is a map.
Find women and children, and they're saying, oh my God, I was chained in a basement for the last 5 years. I don't know what happened. I went to CBP, they took me, and then boom.
I found out that GSA had awarded a contract to a company to transport unaccompanied minors.
Children get in trafficked every day. We don't take their biographical info. Where are those children going?
The number one goal of FEMA is to instill equity in emergency management. It's not to save lives. There are still people that are missing.
You see them? Those are undercover journalists, brave citizen journalists trying to expose human trafficking.
They recorded everything of the cartel. They're talking about us. They're talking about shipping migrants. It's all on audio. We got everything.
Every single agent knows deep in his heart what's going on is wrong.
Fire me. Maybe after this they will.
Hungry, you're tired, add in cartel, add in kids being trafficked.
The cars are creeping on us. There's a third car over there now.
It's been recorded for 16 hours. We got it.
Johnson knew about the attack. He knew about damn Kennedy too.
Got us into a real mess with Russia and everything else he did, frankly, but he didn't know about it, and he, generally speaking, signed it with AutoPen. So how would he know that AutoPen is a big deal? I don't know. You know, they're having
Robbie Kimmer's on.
Who's doing this? So when my people come up, Will and all of the people, Steve, they come up and, sir, this is an executive order. They explain it to me, and, 90% of the time I sign it. 99% of the time I say do it. But they come up and I sign it. But you don't use AutoPen. It's, number one, it's disrespectful to the office. Number two, maybe it's not even valid because, who's getting him to sign? He had no idea what the hell he was doing. If he did, all of these bad things wouldn't be happening right now. The crooked Joe Biden got us into... The American people have given us a mandate and really a far-reaching investigation is what they are demanding into the corruption of our system. And That's exactly, I'm sure, what Pam and Cash and everyone else mentioned here and not mentioned is going to be doing. We will expel the rogue actors and corrupt forces from our government. We will expose and very much expose their egregious crimes and severe misconduct, of which was levels you've never seen anything like it. The American
fit, nigga.
Where you just Fresh and Fit, bro?
They on my dick, nigga. Fuck wrong with you, nigga?
Yo, why this little Fresh and Fit nigga always on my nuts? Weak ass nigga. I am too cool to respond to whatever clip I seen. Too cool for you, nigga. You would never be in my circle. Don't be mad because I ain't happy to see you, motherfucker. Fuck you, nigga. Hey, Fresh and Fit K, y'all. Y'all niggas gonna catch this wrath now. Now I gotta do it to you niggas. Y'all know how many careers I done took? Stop playing with me. We'll be collected. Now I wanna go on your shit, now you mad. Fuck you, nigga. He said he ain't like how my face look. He said I looked at mean or something in the club. Nigga, I got aura. Fuck you, nigga. I don't wanna be your homie, nigga. You ain't my friend, bitch. I don't know. Another time. You know niggas be hating. He look like he's the shit. Yeah, bitch, I ain't no richer than you. Way richer. Pussy, nigga.
Nigga popping again.
Hey, man, cause I can. That nigga don't go outside. Nobody worry about that nigga.
Like, if you see bro, he see you, like, what you doing though, bro?
He ain't doing nothing. I'm gonna do it.
Damn, bro. What if you see that nigga, and he see you, nigga, and Cook just nowhere to be found, nigga?
Hey, nigga, we shooting the ones then. I think he's a retired police officer. He's federal.
That nigga will break your goddamn arm, nigga. You gonna break shit.
Shit.
I'll be damned.
Johnny,
how about that, Johnny?
In GTA.
Shit just... We don't play.
Black on black violence. New space on a path that changes speed, yet not a single person can feel it. Blind faith in the heliocentric model is real.
Environment around custody digital assets is expected to be close to $10 trillion by the year 2030. And inevitably, people are going to need a place to store those assets and safe, secure, and they're going to need to be able to transfer them as well, having good on and off ramps, even a tokenization engine, some of the work Ripple is doing around central bank digital currencies or CBDCs. So we think there's a lot of pieces that come together, and we already had, and I remember when you and I first spoke, I remember being on a call with one of the largest top 10 banks in the world, and a bank Ripple was already working with, and they were asking us about could we help them with their custody. This is prior to the Medico acquisition, and we weren't in a position to do that. And so when I think about that synergy, the ability to say to that existing Ripple customer, hey, here's a best in class, going head to head, time and time again, and winning on the custody level, to be able to bring that product to them, I think is a great opportunity for the two companies together. So.
change. Every bank in the world, every payment company in the world would love to say to Amazon, to Airbnb, to Uber, or to that niche company, fire your payment employees, we'll just do your payments for you. But they can't. The networks they're built on just weren't designed to provide that functionality. That is going to happen no matter what. That is a given. We had a revolution in the physical delivery of goods with the shipping container, which changed globalization, started globalization.
XRP.
We had a revolution in the delivery of information with the internet. But what we don't know is what is the TCP/IP of money? What is the shipping container of value? We don't know that yet. There's going to be one, though. That is a definite. And that's going to bring changes. And what I also want to get through is that one of those changes that I foresee and that I think is important is that the size of payments are going to shrink, drastically shrink. Many of you people here probably have a job and you probably get paid twice a month or every 2 weeks. Well, why is that? You probably pay bills once a month. Well, why is that? It's because payments are expensive and clunky. But if payments were cheap and simple, then those frequencies could go up. Money could be streamed at you while you're working. You could stream money to your landlord to pay for the place where you're staying. Now, I know those sound dumb, and I'll be blunt. Yeah, they are. And I'll tell you, like, if we were talking about email in the late 90s and you said to me, like, what are people going to use email for? I probably could not have given you the examples that is on everyone probably here, probably has a cell phone, probably has email on it, and probably has hundreds of messages that look nothing like postal mail or the messaging that existed in the late 90s. None of that could I have predicted. If you'd asked me if the internet had enough bandwidth in the year 2000, I would have said, yeah, it has plenty of bandwidth. Well, could I have imagined Netflix and on-demand video? That's ridiculous, right? Like, the cost of bandwidth is too high for that. But the internet drove the cost of bandwidth down to zero. And if the cost of payments go down to zero, the world is going to change.
Them trucks are ugly as shit.
Never mentions the word addiction in certain company. Yes, she'll tell you she's an orphan after you meet her family.
I ain't giving you them bitches.
Shades down tight.
Copyright.
Hi, please be seated. Welcome to the Department of Justice. And I love our team. Todd Blanche, Emil Bovey, Cash Patel.
My damn message to her is quit doing all these damn press interviews and get your ass to work locking people up.
Respectful to the office. Number two, maybe it's not even valid because...
By Lib reporter on CBS this week, why not let the vetted immigrants stay in America? And his response is perfect. I don't care, Margaret.
Well, Margaret, I don't agree that all these immigrants or all these refugees have been properly vetted. In fact, we know that there are cases of people who allegedly were properly vetted and then were literally planning terrorist attacks on our country. That happened during the campaign, if you may remember. So clearly not all of these foreign nationals
but there are
have been properly
30,000
vetted.
people in the pipeline, Afghan refugees.
But my primary
Do you stand
concern
by it?
as the vice president, Margaret, is to look after the American people.
Thank you.
And now that
So
we
no.
know that we have vetting problems with a lot of these refugee programs, we absolutely cannot unleash thousands of unvetted people into our country.
These people
it's
are
not
vetted.
good.
These people are vetted.
Just like the guy who planned a terrorist attack in Oklahoma a few months ago, he was allegedly properly vetted, and many people in the media and the Democratic Party said that he was properly vetted. Clearly he wasn't. I don't want my children to share a neighborhood with people who are not properly vetted, and because I don't want it for my kids, I'm not going to force any other American citizens' kids to do that either.
No, and that was a very particular case. It wasn't clear if he was radicalized when he got here or while he was living here.
I don't really care, Margaret. I don't want that person in my country, and I think most Americans agree with me.
It's my team.
We don't care, Margaret. What did the 70s smell like? Burnt hair. Mark Carney is officially sworn in as Prime Minister of Canada after pledging allegiance to the King of England.
And like Ingo Swann, I've developed the ability to spot them. And I've even had them come up to me. And I think I shared this with you on that interview, where they come up to me after a presentation, shook my hand, and told me how much they appreciated what I had to say. And I've learned that they attend these conferences not to listen to what the speakers have to say, but they're monitoring the response of the audience to what the speakers have to say.
Sure.
Because they're monitoring.
Charlotte, this neighborhood looking good.
There's a little girl in our neighborhood. Her name is Charlotte Johnson, and she's really looking good.
She said she don't look good no more. She done gained a lot of weight, and her left eye is like wonky. It's coming over here because she had a bad wreck.
I had to go and see her, so I called her on the phone.
Called her on the phone. Walked over to her house because I had no car. I didn't have a car. She lived like 6 blocks away. Took me 2 hours.
Her house, and this was going on. Her brother was on the sofa, eating chocolate
pie. Fat ass fucker. Wouldn't get out in the yard and play. Weighed like 300 pounds. He was only 8 years old.
Her mama was in the kitchen cutting chicken up.
And then she's frying that shit up in that Crisco. The lard, that's back before they come out with all the soybean oil and shit like that. That's bad for you.
Daddy was in the backyard rolling up a garden hose.
He been out there watering the tomato plants. And he was rolling it back up because he had to put it up every time he got through watering them. I'd left that thing stretched out there. But he might have been cutting grass and he run over his water hose.
To Charlotte, feeling up down to
my toes because she was a whore. She was easy.
And we were swinging. Yeah, just a swinging.
Making out in the garage.
And in a song that she's every day as the angels and they sing. I can't believe I'm out here on a front porch in a swing. A swing.
Like Biden might have increased federal spending by as much as $300 billion in his final months in office to spike the economy and markets and, help Kamala get elected. Then he also rolled over short-term debt so the 10-year note didn't jump. The one that informs consumer pricing. Trump walked into an epically disastrous balance sheet that now needs to be cleaned up. Thank goodness for Doge. And by the way, if getting government spending in line with revenue creates a downturn, our GDP wasn't actually real. Our government has been inserting an additional $2 trillion every year, which is simply money they created and injected into the economy, artificially pumping up the GDP and enriching the favored few. Hate to break it to you, but it's all been a fraud.
I just can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love is making music with my friends. And I can't wait to...
He probably stinks like shit. He ain't got no damn deodorant on. Ain't got a shirt on under that t-shirt. You know his armpits. He's a damn hippie.
And probably it helped that I was attacked more than anybody in the history of our country. Alphonse Capone, the great Alphonse Capone, legendary Scarface, was attacked only a tiny fraction of what Trump was attacked. And maybe it worked out well. I don't know. If I had to give it up, I probably wouldn't, but only because I've gone through it. But I wonder what the difference would be. Maybe they helped get me elected by those margins, the big mandate that we received. But you can't go after your political opponent. Nobody's ever seen anything like it, actually. And hopefully they won't see anything like it. But now, with the return of law and order, the entire world is witnessing the triumph of American justice and American freedom. That's why we're here today, gathered with people that have love for our country. In the coming years, we will revive the storied legacy of this department, and it's happening right now. We can feel it, and rekindle the spirit of the great lawmen and legal lions of the past. Americans like Wyatt Earp, Elliot Ness, Frank Hammer, Rudy Giuliani. Rudy Giuliani had to suffer greatly. He's the greatest mayor in the history of our country. He had to suffer greatly. Ed Meese, Antonin Scalia, Robert Jackson, and Robert F. Kennedy. We will rebuild pride in our institutions. We will restore the prestige of this great department, and we will bring back faith in our justice system for the citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed. And I want to just tell you that this has been a great honor. I was asked to do it, and I said, is it appropriate that I do it? And then I realized it's not only appropriate, I think it's really important, and I may never do it again. I may never have another chance to do it again, because this is something that I'm leaving to the greatest people I know, the best people, the smartest people, the toughest people I know. And they're going to do an incredible job, and it's an honor for me to have won this election so that I can appoint these people to do their job, and they're going to do it like you have never seen. So I just want to wish all of you good luck. It's going to be an interesting journey. Not going to be easy, but you're going to win. You're going to win, 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 and fight, fight, fight. And it's going to end up being a tremendous result for this country. So thank you all very much. God bless America. God bless you all. Thank you.
Y'all need to get over and get on this thing, John. Cheers. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. Where you at? No, you're not. No, he's it. No, he's out there in his truck. No, he's not.
We stand with you. That's why we stand with you. We support you.
Charged with assault. She hit that girl in the head. No, she hit that girl in the head with that baton. Like, wasn't nobody watching.
I would never do anything like that. I would never harm anybody.
Quit lying, bitch.
I'm not even in conversation. I wouldn't even do that on purpose. And I think y'all
seen you do it on purpose.
Me, and I love y'all.
Charged with assault. Lock her black ass up. There's another one of them nut jobs.
Times and places are all in who you should.
Freaks. What's that cop got stabbed in the neck? There you go. Straighten that shit out right there. What's up?
Them down, and they took them down right away. And so far, so good.
Am I painting an extreme example, extreme hypothetical? Maybe so. But let me tell you my experience on Sunday, February 2nd, going up to
Am I bothering you?
I get there. Whole parking lot's full. Whole pavilion's full. I mean, it's clearly an organized event. There were hundreds of people. Okay?
Our second speaker is Mr. Alex Stein. Please state your name and address for the record, please.
My name's Alex Stein, and I'm a citizen of the Earth. I live in the North American region. And I just want to say, I came here not that long ago, Mayor West. Remember talking about the Cowboys and before the season started and what happened? They didn't make the playoffs. They stunk like usual. I just want to bring that up. But I also want to give a shout out. We got a lot of good things happening. We got to give a shout out to my boy RFK Jr. That's right. He's been taking this methylene blue. Are you familiar with this, Mayor West? This stuff is good stuff. Let me tell you something. This stuff will just make you. It'll make you young again. Now, it is kind of dying. It'll make your teeth a little blue. But RFK takes this, and let me tell you something. Cheryl Hines, there's a reason she's not married to Larry David in real life. It's because of that RFK. You know what the F stands for, and it's not Fitzgerald. But I came here for a serious thing. Very serious thing. I'm not even kidding. You might have saw this, but a congressman from the state of Texas by the name of Dan Crenshaw just called for the assassination of my biological stepfather, Tucker Carlson. Now, this might be funny, but to me it's not funny, and you guys as elected officials should try to, I guess, expose this, because I don't think it's very cool that a sitting congressman would say that he wants somebody dead, especially a celebrity that has a lot of influence and a lot of fans. So I think, morally that would be unjust to kill somebody, period, but to kill somebody that has, an adoring audience is absolutely sick. And if you look at Dan Crenshaw, he's an alcoholic, he's a dwarf, he's, 5'6", he has one eye, and it's not even that good, the one that he has left. And listen, I respect that he lost his eye serving this country, and I respect every man and woman in uniform. But the idea that he went and found weapons of mass destruction, which he didn't, and that he still wants to go send kids to go fight in a war like Ukraine for literally nothing, and I think they're going to come to an agreement here by April, that the first agreement that they pitched the first week of this war is going to end up being the outcome. So it's all BS. Dan Crenshaw is a globalist. He does not care about this country, and he cannot attack my biological stepfather, Tucker Carlson. That is not okay with me. Tucker's done a lot for me. He's helped my family. He's helped this country, and Tucker speaks for the common person. He speaks, even though he is a wealthy man, he speaks for the middle class, believe it or not. And Dan Crenshaw is a guy that's inherited money, and now he's inherited the power and knowledge, and he's able to stock trade, and he's doing all kinds of stuff in Congress that is absolutely apparent, you know what I mean, bad. But my point is this. You need to, Mayor, blow the whistle on this. I don't think it's cool that Dan Crenshaw, probably drunk, allegedly cheats on his wife. I don't know if that's true, but I just talked to girls that said that they did stuff. A lot of girls say they do stuff, and, they're full of it. But my point is, Dan Crenshaw calling for the assassination of Tucker Carlson is not cool. And I know Dan's watching this. Dan, I just want to say, you're a little baby back biatch, and if you try to mess with freaking Tucker Carlson, you're not going to like how it ends, and all your Navy SEAL training is going to get thrown out the door, little Danny Boy Crenshaw. So, Mayor West, please, expose this. Thank you very much, and I appreciate you guys, your time.
Thank you for your comments this evening.
Okay, this guy's. Hey, Mayor, who is this guy? He keeps on following us around.
Mayor, I'd like to call a point of order.
I know, but what is your problem?
Can we handle this? This is an interrupted meeting.
My girlfriend's standing over here. He goes and walks. I'm just saying, dude, it's not your job to go walk around my girlfriend like a freak, you old man. Like, sit down and watch the meeting, dude. Like, I know, but you see how he's walking around? He's sitting down. Yeah, I know, but don't threaten my girlfriend. I don't give a damn how old you are trying to stand in front of a little girl. You're pathetic. Yeah, hey, I'll talk all I want, you old man. And I'll be at your funeral, too. I'm a coward. I'm right here. Walk away from what, Baldy? What are you going to do, bald-headed boy? What are you going to do? You're going to cry about Israel some more? I know, but look, he's sitting here crying about people wearing masks.
Thank you, everybody, for your patience tonight.
Was he in your face?
He was literally standing right here next to me.
bro. Stop. Don't fucking record me. I told him I'll put my little niece on camera, bro. Oh, hey, I'm cool, bro. Damn, bro.
Who got his head? Is he mad?
Hey, what you want to do, bro? What you want to do? I want to see your chest. What you want to do? Yeah, no.
Got enough money to take me out on that date yet? What, you don't like women?
I like women. It's just my life's a little complicated right now.
Nigga, I know you're homeless. I was just trying to give you a little ass to lift your spirits.
Well, I appreciate the offer, Charlene, but I'm good.
If you say so.
She's a whore.
It's about time you came. I don't know if it's the TV or the remote, but something ain't working.
Well, that's because it's not a remote. It's a cell phone.
It's that damn remote that's broke.
Okay, Grandma.
I ain't your grandma.
Yes, you are.
Bullshit. My grandson is a war hero. You a bum.
It's me, Ronnie.
You ain't no hero.
I was driving our mega-sized RV when something unexpected happened.
I'm guessing it's really not 13.7.
Our GPS was leading us on a road with a bridge that was dangerously close to the size of our vehicle. And so I went to measure it myself, and then the cops showed up.
You're gonna get us in so much trouble. Well,
Not good. The police officer had agreed to hold traffic on the other side of the bridge, but the height of the bridge was going to come very close to clipping the top of our mega-sized RV. So I let out some air to give us just a bit more space, and we gave it a shot.
Here we go. I just need the airbags to come up a little.
Clear to speaker 1, speaker 2. Okay, you're clear.
Yes.
That's tight.
You guys see that? 20, 30 cars back. What is that?
Is it?
All right, I'm ready, bro.
Hot dog.
Two, whatever you know, brother. We do mayo, ketchup.
Mayo and ketchup.
That's it?
Yeah.
All right, just mayo and ketchup. You don't like hot Cheetos? Fire with the hot Cheetos, bro.
We only got one restroom here for the guys.
Mayo and ketchup. Jalapeno, bro? No? All right. Yeah. All right, brother. Good morning. All right, do you want to do two with everything on it, sir?
Yes, sir. Actually, just mustard.
Just mustard? All right. But you like some onions or no?
Yes, onion, pepper.
Do you like a jalapeno?
Yes, sir.
Oh, look at that, sir. Very well, sir. Yep. Good morning, sir. All right. ¿Me das? Two. All right. ¿Me das un plato, amigo? Please. De dos. De esos que están ahí. All right. Two with everything on it?
Yes, sir.
Do you want to try with the hot Cheetos? They're super good. All right.
I don't know about putting no mayonnaise on no hot dog.
Do you like the jalapeno, sir? Check that out, sir. All right, I'm ready, bro.
You ready, man?
If you'll indulge me, the point I'm making with John Lennon is a man could look at anything and make something out of it. For instance, I look at you and I think, what could I use you for? Yeah. Get rid of this French. Put it downstairs here. And thank you. Maybe we could work something out. Good. And send this to his wife.
Well, it was nice the way you asked the guy which hand he jerked off with. I hope this don't shake Rita up.
So I remember she ain't that sentimental.
She got a Mustang GT. There's Jamie right there. Let's see what he's talking about.
So I remember she ain't that sentimental.
He's watching damn TikTok. Look at him. She got a Mustang GT. There's Jamie right there. What's he doing?
So remember, she ain't that sentimental.
He's watching damn TikTok. Look at it. Where's Robbie at? She got a Mustang GT. There's Jamie right there. What's he doing? He's gonna put his thumbs up over there. He's watching damn TikTok. This channel's got 61 subs on this. Is Chapman Gaming. Fat cats have swollen vaginas. Hey. Now where's he gone? Angel, yeah.
I'd asked for those documents prior to Cash coming in. Cash is going to get me all the information. I've asked him to find out why I didn't receive all those documents and he didn't receive all those documents. We've now found out, of course, that they were in New York. We've received truckload of documents of evidence, and Cash is going to give me a deadline on when he can go through that to protect, of course, the victims of sex trafficking who are wrapped into this. And he's going to give me a deadline on when he can get this, and we will get out as much as we can, as fast as we can, to the American people, because they deserve to know. Same with January 6th. We're all working on JFK right now. We will be working on Martin Luther King. All of these things that the president promised, we will be doing. They can try to hide documents from us, but they can't. Might take a little longer. We will find them and we will release them to the American people, because it's transparency.
How about locking up the people that's hiding them from you? How about doing that? Mentioned immediately after it was Chuck Grassley, both names from the Q drops.
And Biden didn't know why. If they would have asked him, he wouldn't have been able to answer the question. He could never answer a question. They said my press conference yesterday was longer than all of Biden's press conferences put together for the last 4 years. And I don't know if that's true, but it was close. And I have a chance to give it out again.
His wife was accused first by French journalists and then by my friend Candace Owens, who's one of the nicest people I've ever met.
Yeah, she's
very smart.
She's incredible.
And everyone's always, Candace Owens a hater. Candace Owens is the opposite of a hater, but she's a very kind person. But she comes out and she's like, I will wager my professional credibility on the claim that Macron's wife is actually a man. And I was like, Candace Owens, I love you, but I think this is too crazy.
Yeah.
And then it turns out she's right.
Yeah.
What is so? Could you just explain? My mind is blown.
So Tucker's saying she's a man, true.
With General Flynn.
Can you believe it? Talk about the Department of Just Us.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, it'd be like us in handcuffs if we had to go to the DOJ.
They tried to bring me into this place in handcuffs, and they lost. They lost that battle, and here we are. This is a great day, a historic day. President Trump is here at the Department of Justice. I think it's the first time a president's been in this hall in my lifetime. So he's here with Pam Bondi. She's doing great. A lot of good things going on. We just got a briefing from Kash Patel and the Deputy Attorney General. Amazing work these people are doing in just a month and a half.
It's got to mean so much to you, General, based on what you've gone through. Just really quickly, tell people.
Yeah, I mean, everything that I've gone through, and when I look at the country and the risks that we are facing as a nation, the weaponization of everything, of the justice system, of the intelligence community, the lack of trust between the American people and the institutions that are supposed to protect us and save us, that's shot. It's coming back. It's coming back. And I'm going to tell you, I wish, and I think that they did capture some of what Cash just said, what he just presented this audience. Amazing the kind of work that these guys are doing to bring justice back to this country and to stop the weaponization, but also to go after those people that did weaponize it. And that's my warning, because that's why I'm here.
Yeah, revenge? The revenge tour. The General Flynn revenge.
You feel about him passing away? Because I know you was telling me behind the scenes that, you didn't like him.
Bruh, I don't have no compassion. I had compassion for his brother, Chris Gotti. Chris Gotti was a good dude. He was all right. Me and Eric got in a couple of spats, and Chaz told me not to do anything or say anything to him because it was going to mess up their deal and what he thought Irv was going to do for black hands. Irv Gotti, everybody talked that to me. I got my own thing. He wasn't a good dude to me. He had talked to me before around Chaz one time at the China Club and another time. And I ain't the type of dude that, you're not going to sit up here and talk to me and I'm not going to say nothing or do nothing to you. But because I respect the Chaz, I didn't. And that always sat bad with me on him. So to me, he wasn't a good dude to me. Because you got to understand those guys who try to use other people's names and try to use other people's status to make it seem like they like that and they live that life like that. If the guy got it in him. What the guy really do, and he ain't have it in him like that. But he always tried to portray it when he became good friends with Supreme. But he ain't the type of nigga bust a grape in a wine factory.
A lot of videos that if you want it bad enough, you're going to get it. And you never give in. You're going to win in the end. It's just a competition to see who quits first, because not everybody can win. So it's an endurance test. You think it's not an endurance test? You think you're allowed to sleep? You think you're allowed to piss? You think you're allowed to life? But no. The man who never does those things is the man who wins at the end. You need to lock the fuck in and do nothing else permanently. I've said many times on a lot of videos that if you want it bad enough, you're going to get it. And you never give in. You're going to win in the end. It's just a competition to see who quits first, because not everybody can win. So it's an endurance test. You think it's not?
And I believe that CNN and MSDNC, who literally write 97.6% bad about me, are political arms of the Democrat Party. And in my opinion, they're really corrupt and they're illegal. What they do is illegal. And I believe that CNN and MSDNC, who literally write 97.6% bad about me, are political arms of the Democrat Party. And in my opinion, they're really corrupt and they're illegal. What they do is illegal. And I believe that CNN and MSDNC, who literally write 97.6%.
Creatures of my dreams, raise up and dance with me.
10% or more on car insurance?
Isn't even American. So I don't know what the hell he's chanting USA for. I'll chant USA, not you, okay?
You ask me why I am in US now. Because I was invited and I came here with my passport. Patrick invited me as a politician to come to US because as a European, I do recognize US as a leader of the free world and I pay my respect to this country. And I came here because I used to live under communism and Reagan with John Paul II freed our country and I will be always grateful to the Republicans of the United States for the freedom of Poland and Europe.
Lord did in February 2019 of a satanic ritual he was taken to. He told me to write death. Mort, he said, I went to Paris and saw the Pyramid de Louvre, and I met Emmanuel Macron, and he began to explain that his father abused him and his sister with other men. Epstein was there.
With his father, you know? And when he came back, he was in an awful behavior. Very...
United States government, specifically the United States Department of State, that the taxpayers of the United States of America should spend $400 million buying, quote, armored Tesla production units. Isn't it great and definitely not at all illegal or profoundly corrupt? Definitely not ripping us all off to pay themselves, right?
Donald Trump didn't give that contract to Elon Musk. Joe Biden gave it to him.
More fake news. Jody. Your sticker's right here.
We're going to have proper security.
Yeah, but he was also very clear, Pete Hegseth in Brussels, but also the president himself, that when there is a deal on Ukraine, it has to be lasting. It has to be durable. Putin should not have to try this again. So the question is then the how. How do you do this post a peace deal? Then I would side with the president. You first need to have a peace deal before you can get into these details. Obviously, behind the screens, there will be discussions on the what if there is a peace deal, how then to maintain that. But there are many ways to do that.
He's already taken.
Ever left a woman at a table, even if she's catfishing me, I'll still take her out for dinner. But this woman, who was hot, by the way, was so rude to the waiter. Called him a dickhead. Got up in Bucharest, gave the waiter a massive wad of cash, said, here's for the drinks we ordered, and the rest is for you. No food, I'm done, I'm leaving her. He smiled and shook my hand. You know, Doug, no woman has ever messaged me more or wanted me more. This girl had never been left at a table a day in her life. I'm man enough to do the right thing. Being rude to staff is the worst thing in the world. I was staff once. Lots of people were staff once. Muhammad Ali said it best to sum it up. If she's rude to the waiter, then if you were the waiter, she'd be rude to you too. The only time I've ever left a woman... Go up close.
Than the United States has had in the past. Do not underestimate us, and do not try us. We will defend our common security, our shared prosperity, and our sacred liberty. We will not be intimidated. America does not seek conflict or confrontation, but we will never run from it. If the righteous men do not confront the wicked few, then evil will triumph. Anyone who doubts the strength or determination of the United States should look to our past, and you will doubt it no longer. History is filled with discarded regimes that have foolishly tested America's resolve. We will not permit America or our allies to be blackmailed or attacked. We will not allow American cities to be threatened with destruction.
We will stop radical Islamic terrorism because we cannot allow it to tear up our nation and indeed to tear up the entire world.
The time for excuses is over. Now is the time for strength. If you want peace, you must stand strong at all times.
I was walking through, and BMF was there too. Meechnam was there too. We was walking through the Fiesta Maracana Cadesa in Cancun, Mexico. I started walking through the hotel, and they had the pool right there. It looked like rocks, flowers, and everything around, just a little short pool. And his manager seen me, and he said, "Yo, Gene." I said, "What's up?" Now, his manager's in the pool with two girls. I said, "Yo, what's up?" He said, "Yo, I need to speak to Chaz, and I need to speak to Supreme." I said, what you ask me for? What you telling me that for? He said, "Yo, man, 'cause 50 just got shot, and he in ICU." I said, "50 what? He just got what?" I said, "So what the fuck you doing in the pool, Nick? If he shot?" And I bought a card. It cost me $100. And you only get 10 minutes on that damn card if you call him back to the States. And I used that whole $100 on calling 50 phone, calling 50 phone, calling 50 phone, calling 50 phone. And then one time his girl picked up. I said, "Yo, this Jean. Is 50 all right?" She said, "Gene." I guess she was right there with him or something like that. She said, "Yeah, he all right." So I guess she told him to talk to me. I said, "Just tell him if he need anything that I'll be back on such and such day." So then I told Chad I spoke to 50. He said, "Man, if I was you, I wouldn't go near that kid because of the police, the detectives, and all this other shit like that." I said, "Yeah, all right." I called 50 again, and he ain't pick up no more. So I was one of the dudes that called him when he got shot, and his girl picked up for me, and I guess she told him to tell him. He told her, or nodded or something like that, to let him know that he was good. So that's what happened.
Do you know who was behind the hit?
Do I know who was behind that hit? No, I don't know who was behind it, bro. I don't know who was behind it. I know that Irv Gotti and them had put it out there like they was a part of it and they was going to do it that night, the day at the meeting, from their conversations and how they was acting. I know they had to have something to do with it, and they come to find out that the dudes who did it was working for Murder Inc.
thought he said he didn't know who did it.
When 50 got shot, how did you find out?
The day 50 Cent was shot,
Immediately know.
This Savannah flight bound for Miami hit turbulence just moments after takeoff, and we're not talking about the skies.
Myself and my friend were talking. We're like, we could have to take this guy down.
Started violently shaking and screaming moments after takeoff. Rosenberg says the crew and passengers initially thought Augustin was having a seizure.
He started stomping his feet violently, like heavily, and screaming. It was kind of a chant. He was talking about devils and possession, and it was like, you have to kind of see it to believe it. Destroyed this other man's seat. Like, he kicked it and punched it and just buckled the seat completely over. He just charged the front doors of the plane, like swinging wildly.
That's when Rosenberg, his friend, and another man took Augustin down. Rosenberg says Augustin swallowed rosary beads while on the ground and was gripping onto his sister during the takedown.
She had a bun in her hair, and he grabbed hold of her bun in her hair, and he grabbed hold of her pants and wouldn't let her go. So they tased him once, twice, 3 times. He still didn't let go. At that point, they had to cut the woman's hair to make him let go.
Cut her hair. Bulls out and punch him in the mouth. As recorded, one nomination of CDC director was fooled by the White House.
Of Andrew Wakefield, the producer of Protocol 7, the producer of the movie Vaxxed, which came out in 2016.
And Bongino.
Hope you guys enjoyed the show, man. Yes. That's one of those shows. That's one of the best shows.
Are you up there crying?
You know, we say it's gone. Like, I looked up and it's gone. Like, I looked up and we were 2.5 hours in, but what just happened? Oh, man. I got to keep my earpiece in that drawer.
Who's that kissing on?
That draw's only for me, okay? Second drawer, right over there.
I thought he was working with the FBI. When he retires, after his time's over with, he's going to be working in a pole club.
I was actually out here for a golf tournament. I played at Trump International and actually brought our winery out here, Republican Red. And so I'm spending the rest of the week out here with my family, taking a little break, catching a glass of wine.
That's awesome.
What are you doing out here?
We're just out here filming some street polls.
I've got some wine in the car.
You think we should do a blind taste test?
If we take this wine, we're going to capture like insane reaction. This is going to be fun.
Let's do it. So we're doing a blind wine taste test. You drink wine?
Absolutely.
Oh, of course.
Sure. What's your favorite kind of wine?
Chardonnay.
Merlot?
Pinot Noir.
Really?
Yes.
Well, that's
you
it.
are in luck.
It's a Central Coast Pinot Noir from California.
Oh, it's really good.
Excellent.
Really good. Really like it.
Do you want to see what the label is?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Republican Red Winery celebrates our 45th and now 47th president.
I'm happy.
Yes, I love it.
So this wine we sell online only. We don't sell it in grocery stores at all.
Really?
So you go to republicanred.com and order it, and we deliver it like directly to your doorstep.
Very nice. Does the fact that it's Republican made, American owned, make it taste better?
Yes.
Yeah.
Buddy convinced me.
Check out republicanred.com.
Okay.
We have Drain the Swamp Chardonnay. We have a Second Amendment cab. So.
That's cool.
I love it. Would you order it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yes. Let's make American great again. That's right.
Real Americans drink Republican Red. Head to the link in my bio and get your very own bottle today.
All right, I had to run that credit card for that.
Pay the rent. At 28, I was a millionaire. And at 32, I bought a Bugatti. That's how quickly you can get rich with a plan. If your plan to get rich is longer than 3 years, it's a dream. It's a fantasy. It's a hope. If you want to get rich, find somebody who's rich and start training to get rich.
You got to put the stickers on and then get that truck out from up under because he's gonna pick them 3 up, and they're supposed to be bringing 3 next week from that auction down in Noonan.
Yeah. Right.
What are you doing?
Gotta blow out my bun of the truck on metal shaving and shit so we can get the jackets on there.
Jody. As soon as y'all can leave, as soon as that thing's put back together. Bullshit. Hey, Jody. Next Friday. It'll be here.
Nope. 6 o'clock. That's what time is it?
4:30.
6 o'clock.
Credit cards.
It's right here, right now. Stop waiting.
Now I'm making around $8 grand per month between 60 and 70.
When you join the real world, if you sign up right now, you will know how to make money before you go to sleep today.
Daughter of Stanley Kubrick, his protege, filmmaker her own right.
Jamie White from December 11th.
Wanted to make a documentary, but she wanted to be here for like a year, and I love her to death. She's a fellow Texan, lives here. And at a certain point, I said, listen, we don't let anybody in here that much. You're welcome to come anytime you want, but...
Making my way downtown, walking fast, faces pass and I'm homebound. And I need you.
Wuppertal Suspension Railway built in 1898. It's 3 years with nothing but horse-drawn carts and shovels, no machinery or power tools, no fucking way. Down to Georgia.
My millennial parents are so exhausted because our kids don't have the type of grandparents that we had.
My ex-wife and I both live down here in Florida. Her mom lives in Ohio. She has access to free flights because my ex-wife works for a major airline company. Free flights. My kid's grandmother has come down here one time in 15 years to visit the grandchild. My mom lives 20, 25 minutes across town, same county. 1, maybe 2 times in the last decade, my mom has driven across the county. But it's always, why don't you ever bring the grandbaby over? Why don't you ever bring the grandbaby over to hang out with me? My kid's 15. My mom could drive over here. Boomer parents want to invest nothing and reap the familial rewards of being, I want to be an awesome grandparent, but I don't want to have to do anything for it. These people are retired. They got nothing going on. Both of them. Somehow it's our fault that their grandkid doesn't see them. It's our fault. Only our fault. To hell with boomers.
You better watch your mouth, buddy. Just fake it.
Please look in the direction of the photographer.
Have the conflict on the best ground we have summed up in a sentence that they're making the middle class pay for tax cuts for billionaires. It's much, much better not to be in the middle of a shutdown, which to divert people from the #1 issue we have against these bastards, these people, which is not only all these cuts, but they're ruining democracy. To have the conflict on
have been slaughtered, and there's a bunch of vacant homes and open land. The Jews, of course, have come pouring into Ukraine. As members of this audience should probably know by now, I know you know, that's their actual ancestral home.
Elon Musk. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 Elon Musk's son.
I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing
Happy birthday, bro.
I'm not, no.
28. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. I ain't touching that again. Happy birthday, bro. Now you go lose that.
Best guy. Thank you so much.
Go, G. Don't worry about it. Happy birthday. Bro, how much you down?
And ABC, and CBS, and NBC, and they'll write whatever they say. And what do you do to get rid of it? You convict Trump. All you have to do is be really tough on him and ultimately convict him, and they leave you alone. It's totally illegal what they do. I just hope you can all watch for it, but it's totally illegal. And it was so unfair what they were doing to her. But they do it all the time with judges. But in her case...
Good evening from the Southeast.
She was very courageous, and it only made her angry. Wouldn't you say? It just made her angry. She didn't like it. A lot of them say, oh, please don't say that about me. My family, what's my husband going to say? What's my wife going to say? Or my kids? Please don't say that. And it had absolutely no impact on her in the case against me, which was a case, I will not use a bad word. I promised my wife I would never use a bad word. So just a little bad.
You were supposed to have Irv Gotti because Irv Gotti tried to kill 50 Cent.
Fight that he had with Ja Rule in Atlanta. Ja Rule and the people like that in Atlanta, they set up a meeting at Black Hands. So they set the meeting up at Black Hands, you know, for them to talk. But prior to that, they had caught 50 at the, I don't know if it was the Hit Factory or the Sound, the Hit Factory or the Sound Studio, one of them studios down on 40th Street like that, on 50-something Street, and they stabbed them up. Now, they stabbed 50 up. So now, Chaz had worked the deal out. Nobody knows this, bruh. Chaz had worked the deal out for Irv Gotti and them to give 50 $250,000. So now, the deal is going sour from the $250,000 they were supposed to give 50. You understand? They were supposed to give 250,000 because they was thinking that 50 was supposed to, they had put out paperwork and lies that 50 snitched and 50 didn't snitch. 50 ain't say nothing about that stabbing. That came from the DJ and the engineer, and the prosecutor put 50 name in the paperwork as a protective witness. You understand? But 50 ain't give him no kind of statement or nothing like that. That was checked and clarified. They decided they wasn't going to get a $250,000 because 50 didn't come to the meeting. I called Chaz back. I said, I just got to 50, man. He said, tell y'all to reschedule it, man. He said, man, everybody's out here. He knew about it. Chaz started running down on me like this. I said, yo, bro, he said he ain't gonna be able to make it, bro. Y'all don't know what you want me to do, bro. I'll be there in a minute and everything like that. So now, me and Chaz meet up. Chaz tells me, yo, we ain't dealing with 50 no more. And I said, we? He said, yeah, he's not doing what Black Hands need to do for him. Because at that meeting that 50 didn't show up with, Irv Gotti and them was worried about if something happened to 50, what Chaz was going to do. So when they heard that, they felt that, and it wasn't Supreme, like everybody wanted, and it makes it bigger when people think it's Supreme. You know, it wasn't Supreme. The Murder Inc. people know who it was, and it wasn't Supreme. The people who were sitting there talking, Irv Gotti and them, who were sitting there talking, worried about was Chaz was going to say anything, was Chaz was going to change his mind, was Chaz people going to do anything if something happened to 50. That's how it went down. They thought, okay, we're not going to pay the $250,000. We'll pay $25,000. They know it wasn't Supreme It was Irv Gotti and his people who put that on 50. That's why 50 hate them so much. I call 50. 50 calls me back. Yo, Gene, you got a vest? I said, you gonna need one. He came over to the crib. I tried to fit him for one, and it did, at that time I was 2X, 3X. He was extra large, a large. It wasn't happening. You understand? So I gave him a cover. I said, just have somebody put your panels in this and sew it up on the side. Sew it tight. So if you get hit, it won't be loose. Just sew it up, take it to the, I guess he ain't gonna do it. He took it. He took the cover. You know what I'm saying? But I guess he didn't use it. You know what I'm saying? But I told him that, bro, they coming at you.
I'm happy you broke that down because a lot of people don't understand what Irv did to 50 to make him hate him so much.
My man, he's supposed to hate them. He's supposed to hate them. You understand? Them niggas was trying to take him out of here. Y'all wouldn't have seen Power. Y'all wouldn't have seen BMF. Y'all wouldn't have seen none of that shit if that shit would have went down there. But God had other plans for him. He's supposed to have it. They don't never supposed to take no rap shit and put it in the streets like that and have street niggas who don't give a F and do some crazy shit like that to the man. You understand what I'm saying? Over some rap shit. Get out of here, bro. He's supposed to hate him. If it was me, I'd have sent flowers to his funeral. But he smoked a Gotti. So I guess that was cool. And that's real talk. And that's for the and that's for that dude who called me talking about leave Irv Gotti name out of his mouth. Nah, I said Irv Gotti name. I'm still here. I'm gonna be here. Cause like my man told me, you can't stop what God got planned.
What? É a cara da beleza.
Democrats break rank when it comes to a vote. So this represents either legitimate turmoil inside the party, or they're afraid that if they don't get this bill passed, that it's going to hurt them politically in the next election cycle, which of course is always what they're thinking about. Maybe it's a combination of both, but the CR has passed today. And guess who was right? Thomas Massie. All right, breaking news from the Capitol. The continued resolution has passed. Some of the Democrats broke with Chuck Schumer and voted for the bill. Now, Schumer, this just happened. The vote just went down. I think Schumer probably voted for it. I thought Schumer said he was going to vote for it, so I'll have to see. But there was some build-up to this, and we're seeing something for the first time in the Democrat Party that we haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah.
And that is a lack of unification, at least when it comes to a vote. Very rarely do the Democrats break rank when it comes to a vote. So this represents either legitimate turmoil inside the party, or they're afraid that if they don't get this bill passed, that it's going to hurt them politically in the next election cycle, which of course is always what they're thinking about. Maybe it's a combination of both, but the CR has passed today. And guess who was right? Thomas Massie.
62.
He was right, wasn't he? He predicted this exact same thing would happen. We played that clip on Wednesday. So, I know the big Trump lobby was out to get Massie and make him look bad, but he ended up being 100% right, at least how it went down. Now, you can like the continued resolution bill passing or not, but He was right. Now, here's the proof. They really are kind of not sure what to do right now. That is the Democrats. Because they just don't know what to do without power. Everything, the Democrats rely on power. And when they don't have any power, they kind of get lost. They're just lost at sea. Now, here they are. Here's Representative Catherine Clark. She's out of the House with Hakeem Jeffries. They were speaking. And so here she is upset because, well, they're just not famous enough. Clip 6.
First of all, for the security of families at home, and we are united in that. And this parlor game here about, most American people, they can't name us. They don't know who Chuck Schumer is.
Yeah, we know who Chuck
but they
Schumer is.
do know.
He's a Jew.
With this administration and Elon Musk and the GOP.
What do you mean I'm sorry? How sorry are you now? You like meeting little boys? You like little kids?
Talk up. I'm sorry.
You like kids?
No.
What do you mean no? You're fucking leaking because you like little kids, 13-year-old kids. So, other than I'm sorry, why did you attempt to meet up with a little kid tonight? What? Man, you about to piss me off, bro. Hey, Predator, Alex.
Stop it.
No, we need to stop it, motherfucker.
Hey,
Start talking.
why are you attracted to little kids?
I don't know.
How long have you been attracted to little kids? How many times have you done this? What? How many times have you done
This
this?
is the only time I've meeting up with a little kid.
Is that true?
Yes, it is actually.
Why did it come so easily for you?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. That's all you know how to say is I'm sorry?
That's why I backed out.
You didn't fucking back out. You're standing outside in the fucking storm waiting for a little boy. Waiting for a little fucking kid. A kid that's in 6th, 7th grade. And you're sitting out here waiting for him. Crisscross applesauce. And now you're leaking.
That boy's gonna go to jail for assaulting people like that. Wasting our money all over the world.
Immigrants, would you guys be willing to take in an asylum seeker, as you called them, to your home and foster them and take care of them so the government doesn't have to mistreat them?
Well, I think that's a Band-Aid approach, but yes, if we were involved with an organization that was what needed temporary placement for asylum seekers, that would be something we...
Well, my organization is Liberty Hangout, and I have an asylum seeker right here. Are you willing to give him your house keys so he can stay with you?
The reason we can't do it right now is we are literally moving.
Would any of you ladies take in a black illegal immigrant that's here with us today that needs a home? No, I thought Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter, but they won't take in my black illegal immigrant friend Felix from Mexico. I guess they don't matter that much. Would you guys be willing to take in a black illegal immigrant? Would you be willing to take him in and his 10 children?
I would, no, not 10 children, but I'd be willing to discuss it. I certainly would.
Can he have the keys to your house? He'll only take 5 kids. How about he'll only take 5 of his 10 children? Can he come stay with you?
We talk about it. Probably not 5, but I probably have room.
Well, what do we do with the other 5 or other 8?
I think that people should pitch in, right? I think that we have, look.
So you want to separate the kids from their dad. He's illegal.
And my child has friends that are dreamers. And
he's a dreamer. Are you willing to give him like $20 right now?
No, I'm not. He doesn't need $20.
Yes, he does. He's illegal.
Illegal doesn't mean you need money.
Good point. Good point. If you're illegal, that doesn't mean you need my money. It doesn't mean you need free health care. It doesn't mean you need to be funded by taxpayer dollars.
That's not what I said. Okay, I'm real. Don't twist my words.
Ooh, I'm getting wet.
Buzz Little X.
Now that I am on the inside and I can see what they're reporting.
You can see that it's fake. DOJ and FBI must act now. Violent left is trying to kill conservatives. They've been a bunch of swattings. FBI bring criminal charges against Act Blue operatives in largest money laundering scheme in history. National security put at risk. Biden personal emails discovered containing the unthinkable. Top IRS attorney fired as Trump downsizes the agency. Rules out running in Michigan governor or Senate races. Set sight on 2028 presidential run. That gay guy? Yeah, that's going to work. That gets on big drug pharma. President Trump's executive order to reinstate service members is a great start, but some are being left out for administrative reasons. I thought he was going to let them all have their job back with back pay. Syrian genocide, where they're killing the Christians over there. It's all part of the Jews' plan. Volatile volcanoes is likely to erupt in the next few weeks. Uh-oh. Judicial insurrection, radical leftist judges wage all-out war against President Trump. Oh, big Michelle Obama and her brother doing two guys talking. Don't know what's going on. What's happening? We got 3 in here. Appreciate y'all 3 hanging out. We will holler at y'all when we're going to see them, Jamie. Later.
You've seen the video of my house getting swatted a couple of nights ago. Here's where a police officer that I didn't know was a police officer is on my
Semi-truck, not sleigh this year. Needs to make it home by night. Carols playing on the radio. Snowflakes fall within the light. Santa breathing heavy sighs. Knows he's got to make it right. Cal Santa's working on the double. Grease and sweat mixed in his beer. Hopes to beat the midnight hour. Home with family so revered. Reindeer resting in the barn. Elves off duty for the day.
Today on what's becoming a growing concern for Americans, former President Biden's overuse of auto sign. This comes after I asked White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt about the issue during yesterday's White House briefing. Here's what President Trump had to say about it.
Who was signing all this stuff by auto pen? Who would think you signed important documents by auto pen? You know, these are major documents.
Grease and sweat mixed in his beer. Hopes to beat the midnight hour. Home with family so revered. Reindeer resting in the barn. Elves off duty for the day. Santa's got the
Я не представляю, как это должно быть. Свет тут бы не знаю, что отдал. Лишь бы она встала.
Russia has a large group of Ukrainian soldiers, as we speak, surrounded and in grave danger. They've been able to surround them. They're in grave danger. Biden should have never let this war happen. First of all, you don't want to
to pick on somebody that's a lot larger than you, even with the money. There's a lot of money that we gave them and a lot of equipment.
Show. It's nothing but fear-mongering. That's all all you need to do is turn on the TV. Look at your show. It's nothing but fear-mongering. That's all the Democrats do. What's inflation doing? What's inflation? Up or down? Oh, it's down. What's the prices of eggs? Oh, they're down. What's the prices of mortgage? Oh, it's down, right? But we don't cover the positive things. We only cover the negative things to get everyone worked up. So here's two things. This could be a potential problem, but it actually could be a potential long-term solution. But when you don't want to cover the other half and all you talk about is the one half, of course that's what you're going to hear. I would prefer to give both sides of the story. That's what real news people used to do, is they would give both sides of the story. So one side of the story is, yes, potentially on the short term, listen, tariffs could cause us some discomfort, no question. But let's take a look at the long term. Do you think there's any benefits to the long term? I can share with you that there are benefits to the long term if we can get this on a level playing field. And that's what we need to do. Instead of just getting everyone all ginned up about, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. Let's talk about the vision on what we're actually trying to do, which is reverse the negative force and put America on track to be respected again.
Chairwoman, thank you so much for joining us. I wish you would watch our show more often, because you would see that we do have both sides on. Specifically, that's why you're on the air today, to present that side. That's what we do here at CNN. Chairwoman Linda McClain, thank you so much for the time.
Thank you for coming over to talk with us. We appreciate it. Just get a sense of what you talked about with the president today and your sense on the TR passing today.
Well, first I want to thank Senator Chapman. I say this again. Chuck never makes the same mistake twice. Generally, he makes it 5 or 6 times just to make sure he got it right. This time he got it right on his first attempt. It makes no sense to shut down government. And I think Senator Chapman released his meeting. Vote for CR probably sometime tonight. Now we'll turn to reconciliation. Reconciliation is another way of talking about high prices. In my opinion, one of the main things that moms and dads worry about when they lie down to sleep at night and can't is inflation, high prices. If we can get them down, we're going to have to do 3 things. Number one, we're going to have to reduce government spending. We got those high prices through excess government spending by President Biden. We've got to reduce spending porn, as I call it, which is unduly stimulating the economy.